is a presentation of Prime Sports.
Wednesday night's win over the Minnesota Moose equaled the Aeros' season best 3 wins in a row. And things look good after one last night as the Aeros took a 2-1 lead. But 3 second-period goals gave the Rivermen a lead they would not relinquish. Tonight, the Aeros trying to get back on track against the resurgent Atlanta Knights. It's next on Prime Sports. Live from the Summit in Houston, Texas, Prime Sports and the Houston Aeros present International Hockey League action. Tonight, the Aeros take on the Atlanta Knights. Very pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Summit. I'm Adam Gordon. 3 letters describe this contest. B-I-G. It is big, and you look at the Central Division standings, you'll see why. Aeros 9 points back of the Atlanta Knights, and if Atlanta wins, it would be 11 points with only 22 games remaining for the Houston Aeros. So I bring in my broadcast partner, Mike Greenlay, and the Aeros are going to have to go to work on those top 2 guns of the Atlanta Knights, Stan Drulia and Jason Ruff.
Probably one of the best 1-2 punch in the league. Stan Drulia, the team captain, certainly leads by example. He has 33 goals, 36 assists, and Jason Ruff, he's probably one of the best two-way players in the league.
And you put in a center iceman in Lee Davidson. He's got 61 points as well. I guess you could call that a 1-2-3 punch. But the Aeros have some punch as well, and Scott Arniel and Marc have been doing the job as of late for Houston.
They certainly have. It's good to get both these guys going again. Against the Minnesota Moose last week, they each had 4-point games. A game like that tonight from each of them will be certainly welcome for the Houston Aeros.
And of course, you know, the way Paul DiPietro has played, this is going to be an exciting hockey game, I'm sure. And that takes us to our Oshman's game plan. It's brought to you by Oshman Super Sports USA, and the Aeros seemed to lack just a little bit of focus last night.
And they did. They got the lead 2-0, and then they let it up, and they can't have any let-ups, that's for sure. Secondly, specialty teams. They were 2 for 6 on the power play, but Dave Tippett wants them to capitalize a little more on that power play and put some more pucks on the net. Third, player role. When you are a grinder, go out there and grind. When you're a goal scorer, go out there and do your job. If you get too many guys doing other guys' jobs, the focus isn't there, and that's what we talked about, is focus.
All right, I guess you let the pucks fall where they may. When we return, Dave Tippett joins Mike Greenlay. We'll have that next on Prime Sports. Houston Aeros hockey on Prime Sports is being brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Fly Southwest, the low-fare airline. By your participating Texas Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Jeep and Eagle dealers. By Columbia HCA Healthcare Corporation, a new commitment to healthcare. Together. By Texaco Clean System 3 gasolines. Add more life to your car. Take it to the star. By High-Low Auto Supply. For the lowest prices every day, what you need is High-Low. And by the Gatorade Company. If you're living life to the fullest, you're gonna get thirsty. That's why you need Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Life's a sport. Drink it up.
You ever hear anyone talk about life like you gotta chew it up and spit it out? You gotta want it so bad you can taste it. You gotta be hungry. If so, Gatorade has one question for you. You want something to drink with that? Because you're gonna be thirsty. Life is a sport. Drink it up.
If you've always wanted a Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo, but thought you couldn't afford one, think again. Presenting the Gold Key Plus program at your Texas Jeep and Eagle dealer, where you can get into a Grand Cherokee for just $327 a month. Hey, just $327 a month, and it's only at your Texas Jeep and Eagle dealer. Take advantage of this deal today, and you'll be able to do all the things you never thought you could.
See your Texas Jeep and Eagle dealer.
Welcome back to the Summit. I'm Mike Greenlay. I'm with head coach Dave Tippett. And Dave, obviously just a very big game tonight. And what do you say to your players before a game like this?
Well, it's you know, there's not that much to be said. Everybody knows the situation they're in, and or we're in. And you know, you talk about a few of the finer points of the game, a few pieces of the game plan you want to put together. But the emotion and the adrenaline is flowing already, so there's not much said. It's mostly doing tonight, not saying.
Can you or your players over-prepare for a game like this?
Well, I think you can. I mean, it's a situation where sometimes you see teams in playoffs get a little tentative or tend not to just do things that come natural, overthink a situation. But our guys have, you know, we've been battling like this for a couple of weeks, so this is just another big game for us, and we'll go out and perform well.
You know, out of the 7 meetings this year, you've won 5 times. Both teams have changed a little bit in the last few weeks as far as personnel is concerned. How do you think these two teams match up?
Well, you know, we both, like you say, have some personnel changes the last couple months, so it's tough. Every time you see one another, there's always a couple different players in there. But all in all, I think we match up pretty well. You know, they've got a couple good power forwards, veteran forwards. They've got some strong goaltending. You know, I think probably our defense has probably got a little more experience in theirs. But all in all, it's 2 very good teams, and you know, we've got the better of them on a few bounces this year. But hopefully, we continue those bounces.
Well, I hope you get a few of them tonight.
Great, thanks very much.
All right, that was Dave Tippett, head coach of the Houston Aeros, and we'll be back to the Summit right after this.
Monday through Friday, Prime Cable plays the classics.
And they're good.
Revisit Mayberry with Andy, Opie, and the irrepressible Barney Fife.
No kidding, really?
The Andy Griffith Show on TBS. And Nickelodeon's got your favorite redhead on
The Lucy Ricardo Show.
Well, we know it as I Love Lucy in its original uncut format, not seen for over 30 years on Prime Cable.
Prime Cable. You can see it all from here.
Hey guys, I guess you've heard the news about our Chevy dealer. Yeah, it blew me away. Bill Hurd Chevrolet has been the #1 with me for a long time. And now, Bill Hurd Chevrolet is the #1 Chevy dealer in the U.S. of A. Doing whatever it takes really paid off. So what changes are you making in the game plan, Sean?
Nothing changes, Akeem. Houston, thanks for making us #1 in the nation, but we really never set out to be #1. We just want to do whatever it takes to earn your business. 59 South, exit both ways.
Welcome back to the Summit, everybody. Adam Gordon, Mike Greenley, as we get set for the Atlanta Knights and the Houston Aeros. And here's the starting lineups brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Steve Fletcher, Marc, Greig, Peter White, Craig Redmond, Dean Zayonce in goal. J.C. Bergeron, who comes in 5-2-1, a 3.75 goals against average, 89.5 on the save percentage. For the Houston Aeros, they will go up front with the line of Sylvain Turgeon, Marc Lam, Paul DiPietro, Jakes, and Valimont defensively. And Troy Gamble will make another start, and he will look to, I guess when you try and put a word on the way he played last night, it was a little above average. He made some really key saves, but it wasn't the same Troy Gamble that we had seen on the road trip. So I'm sure Troy Gamble will come up with a big effort tonight, and we are set to go. DiPietro will face it off at center ice against Peter White. And the all-time series 9-9-1 for the Knights, 10-8-1 for the Houston Aeros. They have a 5-2 record this year against Atlanta. Puck is off and into the Aero zone, and it's Marc Lam near side. He'll drift the puck back to Carl Valimont. Look for the Knights to come out firing as Steve Jakes is drilled by Fletcher in the opening shift of the game. Turgeon across the line for Houston, cuts to the slot. Turgeon lets the shot go. Whoa, ripped one just wide. Now Jakes going after Fletcher. I have a feeling these two may want to go. Fletcher looking at Jakes, but play moves on. Now the puck, here's a centering pass right in, but Peter White couldn't get one in there. Jakes was deep after Fletcher, and the Knights nearly caught him. Puck is back to a left point. It's controlled down the left side. Craig Redmond dumped it behind the net. Peter White smoked it out to the far side. Marc Greig looped it down, but DiPietro knocked it away. And the Aeros are up ice. Here comes DiPietro, 2-on-2. Across ice pass for Lam. Lam in over the line. Dumped the puck into the Atlanta zone, but it's picked up by Craig Redmond. He'll move it up the left side. Redmond trying to shake off the check from Turgeon. Dumped the puck into the Aero end, and Gamble will slow. We're a minute into the hockey. A scoreless affair. Here is Gord Donnelly with the pass to the right side for Mike Maurice. It's dumped in. Maurice is out there with Al Conroy and Kelly Hurd. The Aeros trying to dig the puck out along the right side. Sends one down for Conroy. Looks for Hurd. Verwenka's got Conroy tied up. Maurice trying to move it along. And finally, play is whistled down as a face-off will come to the left side of J.C. Bergeron. 1.5 gone in the first. No score.
So Dave Tippett, he wants his team to grind a little more. They didn't grind enough last night, and of course, he's just switched the lines up just a little bit. He is 9-6-2 since taking over the Houston Aeros and has done an excellent job at that role.
And on the other side, Scott Gordon, a guy you know very well. He's done a terrific job replacing John Paris Jr.
They had a little trouble right off the bat, but boy, he has his team flying right now as they come into the summit, winning 4 in a row on this road trip.
Off the face-off, the Knights have got it. Lee Davidson dumped the puck into the Houston zone. Back is Donnelly. He'll jam it near side. Drulia trying to center, but Conroy worked it away. Here comes Kelly Hurd. A pass for Mike Maurice. He'll shoot it into the Atlanta zone. Bergeron wanted to come out. Hurd's got it right side. Lost it as he overskated. Now it's Darcy Werwenka. Scamper to center ice. Move it through Conroy. Pass to Drulia as he dumps it in. As Donnelly drills him along the boards. And that's actually Myles O'Connor, rather. That was O'Connor, not Donnelly. And we get a whistle as the Knights are offside with 2 minutes gone by in this first period. No score.
Dave Tippett likes that matchup. He likes O'Connor out there against Drulia. They've seem to have a lifelong rivalry going, and Tippett, of course, will try and throw off the opposing team in as many ways as possible, and he's switched his lines up a little bit, like I said, but as many times as possible you'll see O'Connor out there against Stan Drulia and Jason Ruff.
Yeah, kind of speculating what you were, or adding on what you were talking about. Stan Drulia just doesn't seem to get along with Myles O'Connor. He gets under your skin, and that's why you put that matchup out there, and I think we'll look for that all night. It was kind of like the matchup we saw earlier when Sean Rivers was out against Slivchenko earlier in the season. Puck is in the Houston Aeros zone. Townshend worked it to neutral and back into the Atlanta end where Drew Bannister is there. Forecheck by Freer. Sean Rivers couldn't clear, knocked down by Townshend. Chops the puck for Freer behind the cage. He looks for Arniel. He centered one, but nobody was there. Arniel was on the near side, and Freer made a nifty little centering pass in the slot. Puck went into the Aeros zone. Campbell comes out to play it. Flings it off the glass, and Townshend chipped it out at center. Sean Rivers fell, but he makes a terrific play sliding. If he doesn't get there, Freer's in alone. Now the Knights bring it in transition. Egeland, right in, shoots, stopped by Gamble, and play is whistled down. Allan Egeland moving down the right side, and you know, Allan Egeland is one of those Atlanta Knights who has had his way with the Houston Aeros this year.
He certainly has. I mean, you look at Allan Egeland, and he comes into the zone really well and just gets a good hard backhand shot. You know, that shot is a good shot to take from that angle, especially on a backhand. Goaltenders find it harder to read things like that. He has 3 goals and 4 assists this year against the Aeros. And you know what? A lot of people don't think that much about Allan Egeland, but Allan Egeland, they don't know who he is until you go into the corner. He'll introduce himself. This guy throws his body around a lot, and he's not really a very big guy, but boy, he really puts a shoulder into people.
Everywhere he's played, he's been underrated. He came in with the Western Hockey League with the Lethbridge Hurricanes. They traded him to the Tacoma Rockets, an expansion team, and nobody wanted him. Well, when he got to Tacoma, he became their leading scorer for 2 straight years at 120 plus points. It's a shot, went and hit the post, and Campbell had to cover up and hold on. Oh man, Plavsic ripped one, and it cranked off the post. It was a harmless shot, and Campbell covered up.
I don't know what it is about the pipes here at the summit, but they seem to get hit a lot with the puck last night. A few crossbars and posts, and Plavsic just takes a good shot here, and I think it got deflected right up near the point, but boy, it went right off that high post area and dropped down. Gamble had to be sharp.
Off the face-off, Knights have the puck. It's Jason Ruff. A pass back, Plavsic, work it down for Ruff. Here's Ruff on the power play, the shot, and it's tipped away and down the length of the ice.
Jason Ruff will take that shot all night long. He has probably one of the best snapshots in the league, and you've got to be careful not to give him too much room there. He likes that top corner.
Puck is controlled by Stan Drulia, and it's shot into the Aeros zone. Left side, Lee Davidson looked to center it, and here is Davidson along the left side on the power play. Sends it back to Plavsic, looks for the shot, rolled it down to the right side for Jason Ruff. Ruff along the right wing, worked it down the left side. Lee Davidson cuts in, stuff shot, Gamble stopped it, puck came out in front. There was Marc to shoot at the length of the ice. 3.5 gone by, and it's a scoreless game, but the power play still on for Atlanta. Lee Davidson cutting into the slot. Aeros trying to knock away Freer, hooking Davidson down. Arniel trying to get it out of there. They battle for the puck along the left wing boards. Jason Ruff is there. They continue to go after it. Donnelly in there muscling some more, and finally Houston shoots at the length of the ice. 47 seconds left in Valimont's penalty, no score. 4 minutes gone by in the first.
When that puck went off that crossbar, I think he was hauling down Stan Drulia in front of the net, and that's why he gets the penalty.
It is Darcy Werwenka He'll move the puck up ice. Rowenka ripped the puck into the Houston zone. After it, it's Peter White. Moves it down the left side. In there to have a look was Reggie Savage. It's boomed back to the line. Held in Plavsic. Hammers it back down behind the Aero net, but the Aeros pursue near side, and Arniel will scoop it up but couldn't clear the zone. Darcy Rowenka and Scott Arniel battled into the corner. Reggie Savage is there as well. Came back to the line. Greig, wide, shoots. Gamble, a blocker save. Rebound! Gamble stopped it, and he'll hold on. And here we go. And O'Connor, the old face rub to Peter White. Savage coming in there, and everybody getting locked up.
What an excellent save by Gamble as he deflects the puck to the corner, actually up to the top of the circle, and a good shot on goal afterwards. He gets back in time. Greig gets a shot, the rebound right out to the top of the circle, and then a one-timer as it looked like either O'Connor or Donnelly was trying to make a skate save on that one, but it was Gamble that eventually got to it. And you know what? Greig had a lot of time, and he decided to shoot, maybe knowing that a rebound would cause this kind of action in front. And after that, you can see O'Connor trying to get under Peter White's skin, as he'll try and do that to a lot of the players on the Knights tonight, especially the ones who like to put the puck in the net.
Face-off will be to the left side of Troy Gamble. And it'll be Marc Lamb taking the face-off against Allan Egeland with 7 seconds left in Carl Valimont's penalty. 3 shots on goal thus far for Atlanta on the man advantage. Egeland wins the draw, centered one. It's turned. Peterson shoots, hit the post, rebound. Egeland stuff shot, and Gamble stopped it. Wow, he got in front of that. That nearly went in. Here is Lamb. He'll turn the puck over to the far side. Valimont cleared it. It's back into the Atlanta zone. Dean Zayonce goes back into his own zone. He'll pick up a loose puck and move it up ice. Here comes Corey Spring through the neutral zone. Spring across the line. Whoop, threw it off his own man skates of Egeland. And the Aeros are in transition, but it's knocked away by Zayonce. The Aeros trying to move it ahead. Here's Paul DiPietro for Houston across the line. Rolled it over to Maurice. Or make that Lamb, rather. Lamb trying to poke it away. Turgeon comes in there, and the puck squirms to the near boards. After it, Lamb, but it's controlled by Craig Redmond. Redmond for Atlanta. Loop the puck along the board. Zayonce chipped it near side. Egeland battling with Lamb. It's poked back to the line, held in by Hurlbutt. Mike Hurlbutt's pass came behind the Atlanta cage. Turgeon for DiPietro. Takes a bump. Puck in the circle. Lamb is there. Trying to loop it out in front. Craig Redmond ripped it along the board. Pitching is Jakes. Here's Jakes. Turns in front. Trying to center it. He's pinned in there by Egeland. Corey Spring for Atlanta. Flips it up the boards. Held in Hurlbutt. Trying to move it down for Lamb, but it squirts out the center ice. 5.5 gone by in the first, no score, and the puck is in the Atlanta end. Here is Drew Bannister, bumped by Conroy, loose at center, and it's jumped on by Egeland. Pass controlled. Here's Jason Ruff across the line, spin move, center one, but it went behind Drulia. Along the left point, it was Sean Rivers for Atlanta. Got it into Aero territory for Jason Ruff. Pushed it back to the line for Rivers. His shot is blocked, and it's chipped out at center. Drew Bannister looped the puck at center. Ruff trying to pursue, but the Aeros are there to knock it away. Kelly Hurd trying to move it in. He's bumped. Puck is back to center ice for Lee Davidson. Aeros get it into the Atlanta Knights zone. Aeros have yet to put a shot on J.C. Bergeron. It is Drew Bannister with a puck in his own zone. A pass ahead for Drulia. O'Connor got it back. He'll hoist it high in the air and bounce it back into the Atlanta zone where Rivers hustles back to play. Sean Rivers behind the net. He'll move a pass to Bannister, and the Knights will clear it. It is Davidson. Takes a bump from O'Connor. Now it is Drulia trying to move it across the line. Aeros check him off, but Drulia centered one. It came back to Sean Rivers. Left point. Sets it up to Bannister. Top of the slot. Line. Shoots, and it ricocheted into the corner. In after it for Davidson. He takes his man to the boards, but it's picked up by Al Conroy, and he'll move to center ice, but he lost the puck. Bannister moves it in back across the line for Lee Davidson. Takes his shoulder from Arniel, and down he goes. 12:44 to go, and a scoreless hockey game. Maurice's pass. A no-look one that was taken away by Marc Greig, and Peter White takes over. Gives to Reggie Savage. Savage across the line with Rowenka and White. Dropped it, Rowenka. Center one. Right into Peter White. He shoots. It's blocked by Valimont. It is Myles O'Connor, and he will take the puck and move it up ice. Or that's Donnelly, rather. Donnelly, get it out the center for Townshend. Gives to Arniel. Arniel moving left side. That's chipped away by Rowenka. Now Townshend moves it to Arniel, left side. They cycle it behind the net. Freer tried to dig it out. Jakes came in to pinch. Hey, the defensemen are really pinching down that right side. We've seen Jakes do it, and we've seen O'Connor pinching as well in the first period. It is Carl Valimont trying to move it through Peter White. They both go down in a heap. Play moves on. It's Marc Freer in his own zone. A pass ahead for Graeme Townshend. Boy, it just keeps moving here. We've had just a couple of whistles in this first period. Graeme Townshend trying to move it ahead, and he'll look for the pass into the Atlanta zone. That's intercepted. And the Knights in transition, blocked by Hurd. This is just a game full of trapping right now. Not very exciting for the fans. Here is Egeland, right side, had it poke checked by Jakes. Egeland right side, had it stripped by DiPietro, and the Aeros will move it up ice. Paul DiPietro missed his man land. The puck goes back into the Atlanta zone, and we will get an icing call on the Houston Aeros. We'll take time out. Scoreless from the Summit back after this, but first, this word from Southwest Airlines.
Circuit breaker. Check. Window heat. On. Take off warning horn. Check. Parking brake. Set. Radios, radar, and transponder.
Set and standing by.
Sunscreen. SPF 15.
That's check.
Southwest Airlines is going to Florida with low fares on every seat, every flight, every day. Florida has never been closer.
Cool shades.
Is a superstar spokesman what makes Oshman's Super Sports USA?
Dream on.
Oshman's is supersized and super fun. Why, you can play your favorite sport right in the store. Shoot hoops, hit golf balls, swing a bat, or a racket. Or get your kick to 100 other fun ways. Think there's a more super sports store than Oshman's Super Sports?
In your dreams.
The dream starts at Oshman's with 13 Houston area locations.
No score at the Summit as the Knights and Aeros face off, and a close goal, or close chance right here as the puck shot. This is the second post this period that the Knights have hit. Earlier on, they hit the post up high, and this one off the other post, and the Aeros still haven't had any offense to show yet. A good spinorama shot as it goes right off the pipe, but the Aeros have unofficially no shots on goal, and Bergeron having an easy night so far.
Puck is controlled by the Aeros. It's O'Connor. He'll smoke a pass out for Kelly Hurd, and here they come 2-on-2. Hurd crossed it up, gives Maurice right in on goal, shoots. There's the first save by Bergeron, and he'll cover up and hold on. Boy, what a great example of when you're coming in 2-on-2 of crossing up the forwards, and sometimes you might catch a D to give you a lane and a good shot.
Well, certainly Mike Maurice does really good there to pick it up and come over the blue line and just wind up and shoot it. A lot of times you'll have to create things by shooting it, and just a good job here. A little drop pass, and that's all it takes to throw that defenseman off a bit. And from the top of the circle there, when you have full speed, a good hard slap shot, you never know what's going to happen. At least you're going to make the goalie work for the save.
Puck is moved up the boards and cleared out at center, and Myles O'Connor is there, and he'll rip it into the Atlanta end. Puck to the near side. Kelly Hurd trying to move it down. He's pinched by Bannister. Puck is in behind the net, and there's Sean Rivers. Fired up the boards, intercepted by Donnelly. That right side is the pinch side, obviously. It seems like they're sending the right side in. Here's a puck picked up by Lee Davidson. Moves it up and out at center. Drulia rolled one ahead. Here's Sean Rivers across the line, and he got it in behind the cage. Jason Ruff gathers it in, takes a hit from Conroy. Puck came into Drulia, but a nice play by Gord Donnelly to knock that away. So Donnelly doing the job, and now the puck is picked up by Kelly Hurd. Hurd pulls up right side, trying to send one down. It was poked away by Bergeron. It's Drulia. Sends it back behind the net for Sean Rivers, and here comes Bannister for Davidson, who was acquired mid-season from the Chicago Wolves, part of that Eric Dubois deal. Here's a puck brought in by the Aeros. Right side, Krupke gets it down. Here's the chance. DiPietro pulled the backhander, but he was belted by Craig Redmond. Now the puck for Townshend. Sir Turgeon centered one, and Steve Fletcher was there to move it ahead, but they couldn't clear the zone. Lamb trying to take it away, but Fletcher was able to clear it. Puck along the right wing boards, and DiPietro's got a break right side. Score! What a goal! What a goal! Paul DiPietro, top shelf, and the Aeros on the board. It's 1-0. Wow!
Hey, Adam, are you sure that puck went in and out? That puck was in and out so fast, you'll hardly tell it was a goal, but what a blistering slap shot. High on the glove side as DiPietro gets a chip off the boards and kicks in the Jets, and then it's a high, hard slap shot right up underneath the bar. It's in the net, and Bergeron couldn't react to that one. DiPietro had all kinds of time, found his spot, and put it there.
That goal had 3 letters on it, NHL. What a shot. You couldn't put it any better. And it's DiPietro back at center ice. DiPietro wheeling at neutral. He'll work the puck to the right side for Turgeon, and they're battling with it. We've got Krupke looking at Savage. Boy, that has been the battle all year, and then Krupke hooks Savage down. No call. Savage will get in there, and then when it's time for the bell to ring, he's nowhere to be found, though. Lamb along the near boards. He's drilled by Reggie Savage, and the puck is chopped out at center. Now the Knights go back. It's Craig Redmond, and whistle stops play. 9:10 to go in the first period. A 1-0 Arrow lead as Scott Gordon looks on.
Well, for the first few minutes, it was a slow-paced game. The Arrows weren't able to generate any offense, and the Knights got a little bit, but not a lot. As a lot of mid-zone play. It looked like a mini game in the between periods there, but. I tell you what, the Arrows seem to turn things around real quickly and get a goal from DiPietro, his 18th of the year, as Freer's out there now with Arniel and Slivchenko. They're going to try and make it 2-0.
Face off to the left side of Troy Gamble. And it's Freer against Allan Egeland off the face-off. Knights got it. Reich a shot in the right pad save made by Gamble. Turned up by Slivchenko. He's out there with Freer and Arniel. Slivchenko takes a bump, and they're going to call a penalty on the Atlanta Knights. That's a interesting call by Kevin McGuire, but we'll sort it out when we return. 1-0 in favor of Atlanta, or in favor of Houston. Back after this.
For cars that can benefit from higher octane, Texaco Clean System 3 Power Plus and Power Premium were formulated to clean your engine's intake valves, fuel injectors, and combustion chambers while you're driving, to give you smooth starts and sure acceleration. Just give us 5 tanks, and we think Power Plus and Power Premium will make quite an impression on you.
Add more life to your car! Take it to the star!
Ladies and gentlemen, Clyde the Glide Drexler.
When I was a kid growing up in Houston, I loved the Astros. Joe Morgan, the toy cannon, Bob Watson. I wonder how my life would be different if I had played baseball instead of basketball.
Ladies and gentlemen, Clyde the Slide Drexler. For season tickets, call 799-9567.
What are you doing this summer?
And we're back in the Summit. Adam Gordon along with Mike Greenlay, and the person to my right is Amy Greenlay, who you've heard me refer to all season, Mike's wife. Now, this game's going back to Atlanta, so I'm sure you want to say hi to all your friends.
Yes, they're all watching. I want to say hi to Sharon, Tammy, and Shawnee and TJ, and you need to go to bed now, Shawnee and TJ.
Stan Drulia's daughter, right?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us.
Hey,
we have some lovely parting gifts for you.
Thank you very much.
Maybe you can do some of the color.
All right, puck is controlled by Houston, and the Arrows have got it. It is Carl Valimont back in his own zone, and the Arrows will turn it around. Arrow power play moving up to 13th. The penalty killing for Atlanta, dead last in the IHL at 19th. Here's Arniel on their first power play of the night. Puck back, Valimont couldn't hold it in, and here comes Drulia short-handed, in on goal. Gamble, great save, and the rebound is cleared. It's pushed away by O'Connor, and out at center ice, it's Scott Arniel. Great pass to Chenko, but it's just offsides, and they'll bring the face-off back to center.
That's one of the guys you really got to watch is Stan Drulia on the penalty kill. You'll see him out there in every situation as he came down the wing and got a great shot. It was cleared away defensively as the Knights had a chance to tie this one up short-handed. The puck gets by Valimont, and off to the races is Drulia, and see Ruff coming up on the play. A good hard shot by Drulia, but watch the rebound as Ruff tries to get it, but Valimont covers for himself and clears that puck away. Otherwise, Ruff would have had a short-handed goal.
Off the face-off, the Knights have it in their own end, but it's picked up by DiPietro, trying to cut in, but Dean Zayonce will shoot it the length of the ice. 8:12 to go in the first, and a 1-0 Arrow lead. Marc Lamb goes back in behind his net. Lamb moves it up ice. He will get it out at center and then rip a pass ahead for breaking Conroy. Just missed him. Puck poked away by Bergeron. Conroy sends one back. Here's Lamb. Had a chance. Now gives to Hurlbutt. Hurlbutt got the pass down for Conroy. And the Arrows move it back. Hurlbutt, one-hand shot, hammered wide. Rebound, picked up Lamb. Stop shot. Hit the post. Rebound. Bang away at it. Stop by Bergeron. Oh, that puck was resting on the doorstep. Conroy had a chance. Turgeon had a couple of pokes at it, but it was J.C. Bergeron there to make the save, and he'll hold on.
Wow, that play, Bergeron didn't know where the puck was after he made the initial shave. A good hard shot by Hurd, but misses the net, and then it's fed in front by Lamb. Lamb will have a chance as he comes around the net as the puck just sits there. There's Lamb's stick slapping away at it, and then it's Conroy in there jamming away at it. I think Turgeon got one as well, but Bergeron's able to find the puck and hold on to it. The Aeros with a couple good chances on this power play already, looking pretty good as Lamb stays out there with Hurlbut on the point. Of course, DiPietro, Turgeon, and Hurd on the front line.
Face off, won by the Atlanta Knights. It's Drew Bannister. Roll the puck to Drulia. He takes a bump along the board. Puck came out in front. And the Knights move it up shorthanded with 35 remaining on the power play. Drew Bannister across the line, gives to Davidson, shoots. Gamble stopped it, and he will cover up and then squirt it over to the near corner for Mike Hurlbut. Hurlbut gives the puck to Lamb. The Aeros with enough time for one more rush. A lead pass comes out at center ice for Kelly Hurd. In across the Atlanta blue line. Hurd centered one, but it went behind everybody. And Drulia will turn and rip it off the boards, but not out. It hit the referee, Kevin McGuire. Aeros hold the puck in, but a second effort is cleared out at center ice by Lee Davidson. Here come the Aeros again, but the power plays down to 5 seconds. Pass for Kelly Hurd, knocked away by Savage. It did not matter. The Aeros were offsides. They'll bring the face off to center with 7:01 to go in the first. And the Aeros lead it 1-0. The Aeros have 21 wins on the year, or 15 of the 21 wins have come against 6 different teams, Greener.
And yeah, they seem to pick some to really go to town on. Of course, Atlanta's at the top of that list. They've been most successful against Atlanta. They play them 9 times this year, and they've beat them 5 out of the 7 times. This is the 8th game, and they have one more later on in March. And I mean, you've got to win the games against the team that you're trying to catch. And right now, the Aeros are trying to catch the Atlanta Knights.
Off the face-off, it's Carl Valimont who ripped the puck into the Atlanta zone. And into the corner, Townshend fights for it, but it squirts out to Allan Egeland, and the Knights clear. Corey Spring trying to move it ahead, and he could not. Puck is poked away by Freer. Here comes Freer down the low slot. He turns, shoots, block Bergeron, bang away at it. It was turned away by the Knights. Freer had a marvelous chance, but just couldn't quite get it on goal. Here come the Knights out at center. Corey Spring hits the line. Spring trying to center one, but it's out at center after the offsides call. We take a timeout. 6:32 to go in the first period. It's the Aeros 1, the Knights no score. Back after this.
The Dodge Magnum Power Surge. It's your chance to get up to $3,000 in savings and values on the Magnum Powered Dakota Club cab. It's your chance to save on the truck that beats Ranger, S10, and Sonoma on resale, and a whole lot more. But to get Magnum Power and Magnum Savings, you'll have to move like, well, you know. At the Texas Truck Stop, the new Dodge.
It's the biggest basketball promotion in the Lone Star State. Prime Sports, Texas Triple Threat.
David Robinson is the man.
Fans from San Antonio, Dallas, and Houston will no longer have to argue over the best team in Texas. The winners go together to see a game in each city on consecutive nights.
Texas Triple Threat. Road trip.
If you win, you get game tickets, lodging, and airfare on Southwest Airlines, the low-fare airline. Go to these participating retailers to enter. Prime Sports, Texas Triple Threat.
Welcome back to the Summit. The Aeros lead it 1-0 with 6:32, and Freer steals the puck from Egeland, goes in, has one man to beat, and he does get around Plavsic slightly, but not enough as he jams away at it. Bergeron looked like he was out of the play, but he got his stick on it and made a good poke check and denies Freer from getting a goal and getting the Knights, or getting the Aeros ahead by 2, but they still lead by 1. Marc Freer having a pretty good second half of the season.
Off the draw, the puck is dumped into the Aeros zone. Push to the near side, Knights center one. Drulia trying to flip one to left winger Jason Ruff, but it's picked up by Houston. A long lead pass for Kelly Hurd goes into the Atlanta zone, and it will be icing as Plavsic touches it. And they'll bring the face-off back into the Houston Aero end. 6:14 to go in the first, and a 1-0 Aero lead as Kelly Hurd looks on. Dave Tippett, who is, you see, pacing the bench
was kind of concerned. I was surprised when I talked to him about the Minnesota game. I says, geez, you beat him 5-1. That's good, you know. He says, Ads, you know, there's a lot of mistakes I couldn't believe I saw until after I looked at the videotape. And the nice thing is he's had a couple of days to work with it.
Well, that's the thing, is I talked to him before the game, and he said, you know, I get to sit here with the videotape, and it's amazing how different things look, how different a play looks when you get to analyze it from the red line all the way in.
Here's a shot deflected away, and Jason Ruff has got it. Now it's Stan Drulia turning left side. Adrian Plavsic tees one up. It's a shot goes, score! How did that go in? It looked like it was deflected by Jason Ruff. Gamble saying it was above the pipe, the crossbar, but it's going to be no. We'll hopefully have a look at it on Prime Sports, but it's a goal, and the game is tied at 1.
Well, if Jason Ruff did get it, it'd be his 34th of the season, but a good job by Drulia to get the puck to Plavsic. Plavsic just takes a good hard slap shot, and it comes, that looks pretty legal to me, as it looks like Ruff got his stick on it and deflects it down. Just a good hard rising slap shot, and Ruff with the stick coming down and deflects it down between the legs of Gamble, and Ruff gets his team-leading 34th goal of the season, as it's tied 1-1. We talked about Drulia and Ruff before the game. They both came in on that goal.
Here's DiPietro, a shot and a blocker save made by Bergeron. Lamb spins it down behind the net. Turgeon spinning and crashing into the boards. It's picked up by Craig Redmond. Popped it out at center for Savage. DiPietro trying to take it away, but cannot do it. Craig Redmond brings it across the line. Roll the puck to Savage. Savage turning right side, trying to cut in on goal, poked away by Hurlbutt. Aeros can't clear, holding is Redmond, pinching down the left side, and the puck is picked up by Sylvain Turgeon. Lobbed a pass ahead for Lamb, trying to bring it 2-on-2 at DiPietro. That's broken up by Marc Greig. Hooks it back into the Houston Aeros zone. It slows for Gord Krupke. Krupke behind the net, rolls one over for Turgeon, who is bumped on the play by Marc Greig. Puck goes into the Aero end. Mike Hurlbutt goes back. Game is tied at 1 with 5:15 to go in the first. Long pass out for Turgeon. Rink-wide pass misses Lamb. Corey Spring overskates it. Egeland comes in there. He's belted by Hurlbutt and goes down. Krupke in his own end. Got it out at center. Corey Spring shot it into the Aero zone. Valimont chases back. Egeland on his face takes him hard to the boards. Puck rolled to the near side for Scott Arniel. And here comes Mark Freer. Freer in across the Atlanta blue line, trying to feather one for Arniel. That's broken up. Slivchenko moving in. Here's Slivchenko trying to get around Brent Peterson. Not going to happen. And Peterson tipped one over for Egeland. Puck back to the line. A shot. Change direction. Knocked down by the Knights. Slivchenko trying to dig it out of skates. He throws one to an open wing. And it's picked up by Drew Bannister. Corey Spring fired it into the Arizona. Bouncing puck that goes into Gamble. He'll cover up and hold on with 4:25 to go in the first. It's the Aeros 1, the Knights 1. And we'll be back right after this.
What makes News 2 Houston worth watching? Our commitment.
Rob Johnson, News 2 Houston.
A commitment to stories that really have an impact on your family every day.
No complaint is too small.
A commitment to local news that's not afraid to be different and that's not afraid to go the extra mile to give you the kind of stories you can't wait to talk about at work the next day.
It's not locked. Lock it.
It's being aggressive, innovative, and cutting edge. It's a new generation of news. That's our commitment.
When you need an auto part, you don't need to search high and low.
It's been in the family for 40 years.
1950 Cadillac radiator hose?
Most auto parts places can't be bothered.
I didn't have it, but I knew the warehouse would.
The high-low guy came up with it.
Next day, the guy had it.
Are you ready for this? It was the right one.
He could get a conversation anywhere. What he needed was high-low.
Hockey game is tied at 1 with 4:25 to go. And the fans, around 11,000 or so here tonight enjoying this one. And there's the Aeros' new center iceman. All right, they got enough center icemen. They got probably 4 of the best on this team in the IHL. Conroy, Freer, DiPietro, and Lamb. Puck is in the Aeros zone. It's Gord Donnelly trying to fling one along the boards. It came to Slivchenko, knocked away by Davidson. They battle along the far boards out at center. Slivchenko trying to move it for Freer, who will be our first intermission guest. Puck squirts out at center, and Drew Bannister is there. Get it to Sean Rivers. Fired it into the Aero zone. Gamble knocked it down. Gamble gives to Gord Donnelly in behind the cage, and away he will come, but he's harassed by Drulia. Couldn't clear. Ruff held it in, who's got the Atlanta Knight goal. Puck resting at the slot. Drulia trying to center one, but it was knocked away by Freer. And here come the Aeros 2-on-2, and Slivchenko's got some room. But Sean Rivers, we talked about him. He can get back there, and that's what he did, and thwarts the Slivchenko rush. Now on the boards, Davidson cleared it out at center. Myles O'Connor chipped it into the Atlanta end. Sean Rivers cleared it, and here come the Knights in transition. Jason Ruff firing it into the Houston zone. Comes off for the line change. Donnelly goes back, and he will rip it over to Paul DiPietro, and now it's Turgeon. Sylvain Turgeon with some room. He'll hit the line with DiPietro and Lamb. Turgeon dropped it back. Lamb trying to cut in. He's bumped by Redmond. The shot stopped by Bergeron, and then DiPietro taking a look, but it's held on by Bergeron. Play halted. Game tied at 1. Marc Lamb. What a, you know, we've talked all year about the acquisition, but here's a guy that has come in and I think surpassed every single expectation that the Aeros have had for him.
Well, certainly, I think he's been the most consistent Aero this season. He's only gone one time without scoring in back-to-back games. I mean, he certainly has been consistent, a goal and assist last night, and you can always count on him to be there and be in the game and ready to go, and he looks pretty sharp tonight already.
Face off in the circle to the left side of J.C. Bergeron. Aeros have it. Jakes the drive. Bergeron stopped it. And the puck fired to the far corner. Bergeron trying to dig out at it. Puck in as Turgeon fights with Egeland in there. And then DiPietro upended on the play. And the Knights have got it. Dean Zayonce. The pass to Peterson. Fired one for Egeland. Too far, goes into the Aeros zone. Valimont is there. That is icing. And now we've got Egeland in a tumble with, is that O'Connor? I could see. Or is that Jakes? That's Jakes, okay. Steve Jakes was down under that heap.
And, you know, I talked to some of the players after the game last night. Kevin Maguire was the referee last night versus Peoria, and they really liked the way he called the game. They said they liked the way he let the guys play, and, you know, didn't call every little small thing that happened.
Yeah, and I will say this in all fairness is, for those of you watching on Prime Sports can see how Allan Egeland and Steve Jakes get tied up, but the only thing I don't like is I don't like having the same ref back-to-back.
That's always tough because you could bring stuff in from the night before,
exactly.
Or you know, things like that. But yes, he did call a good game last night, and he's calling a pretty good one tonight as well.
Yeah, and you know what? If you let him play, that's fine. Just keep it consistent. We've said that all year, and that's what the players always say. Here's Dean Zayonce in behind the net for the Atlanta Knights, and a big hit along the boards as Savage got savagely dumped into the boards. It is Hurlbutt jammed in there by White. Kupke belted by Savage. That's going to be a check from behind, so the Aeros are going to get another power play. Puck out at center, and it's controlled by Craig Redmond. And Savage is going to go to the penalty box for boarding, and the Aeros are going to get another power play.
You know, we talked about matchups and players to watch. Krupke and Savage, for some reason, just do not get along. They go after each other the whole game. They've done it every game in the series, and Savage just gets a little too much of Krupke and runs him into the boards from behind. And I tell you what, that's a penalty, boarding, and the Aeros will go on the power play.
So the Aeros will get their second power play of the night. And they'll bring out Freer, Arniel, Townshend with Valimont and O'Connor. Drulia, Ruff with Bannister, and Rivers as Gord Krupke sits. And I'll tell you, he and Savage just do not get along. And I think one of these days, I think Savage is just going to push the wrong button. And when Krupke goes after him, it's going to be interesting how that one turns out as a shot comes in. We saw Krupke against Greg Walters, and I think Walters bit off more than he could chew in Chicago there.
Well, that was a good test for Krupke's shoulder, too. It was the first fight he's had since he's been back.
That fight wasn't much of a test, though. Here's Myles O'Connor across the line. Gives it to Freer. Dumps one for Arniel. Back to the line, O'Connor. Quick pass, give to Valimont. He'll spin it down into the corner for Freer. Marc Freer. Bumped by Rivers. Working on the puck pretty good. Now it's Arniel with 1:28 on the power play. Freer, base of the right circle. Works at Arniel. Here's Scott Arniel as he sets up the man advantage at a right point. Gives to Freer. Base of the right circle. Cuts in center for O'Connor. Couldn't get a stick on it. Down is Valimont. Takes a bump by Ruff. It's into the corner for Graeme Townshend, and it's Freer behind the net. Freer looking for his man Arniel, but he went to the corner with it. Here's Scott Arniel back to the line. O'Connor winds, fakes the shot, gives it Arniel, tipped it Valimont. He gets set, pass back to the line. Now it's Arniel. Aeros moving it. Here's a centering pass for Valimont. Redeemed. Stopped by Bergeron, and he will hold on. Wow, now everybody getting locked up in there. As everybody gathered in there, but I'll tell you what, Mike Greenlee, the only reason Carl Valimont didn't score on that goal is because it wasn't in the left circle.
Well, you know, another reason I don't think he expected to get that puck is Townshend with a big wind-up missed the puck or was checked on the play right before, and it came to Valimont eventually. The Aeros moving the puck around really well, and a little bit of a fan there by Myles O'Connor, but it ends up on the tape anyways as Freer tries to feed Townshend, and he's hit on the play by Ruff, and Valimont gets the next chance. Bergeron's there in that patented butterfly style that he has and covers the lower part of the net and makes a save.
The reason I was talking about Carl Valimont in the circle, he's got 3 goals this year. They're all from that left circle, and they're also against $1 million goaltenders from the NHL. We talked about that. Bob Asenza from Fort Wayne, and John Casey from Peoria, and Curtis Joseph when he was with Las Vegas.
Maybe that's why he didn't score. J.C. Bergeron isn't making $1 million.
Yeah, he's not $1 million, no. He's an NHL goalie, but has been assigned for now by the Tampa Bay Lightning. Here's Marc Lamb off the draw with 50 seconds left on the power play. DiPietro's pass missing everybody. I think DiPietro wanted Conroy to zig instead of zag, and the puck went back down. 40 remaining in the man advantage. 1:13 to go in the first period. The game is tied at 1. Marc Lamb, he'll scamper to center ice, tip the pass for Hurd, but the Aeros were way offside. They'll bring the face off to center. 1:05 to go, and a 1-1 game, and Conroy will stay out with DiPietro, and Marc Lamb, a guy you're looking at on Prime Sports.
Marc Lamb is really good on that power play. He does a great job. He's a centerman, but he does a great job on that point. And, you know, talking about power plays, you want to move the puck around really well, and he is one of the guys that does do that, and he feeds that puck across to Mike Hurlbut, who really has a cannon for a shot.
Lamb had a great goal last night with just a minute or so remaining in the hockey game. I thought really the Aeros, that was going to maybe bring them back. They were down by 2, and they nearly scored in the waning seconds of the game. Puck is turned over in the Aero zone. Lee Davidson chipped it down, but it's chased over by Hurlbut, and he'll move it up ice. 10 on the power play. Hurlbut rolled one ahead for DiPietro, slicing in right side. Here's Conroy, dropped it. Turgeon overskated the puck, and it's cleared. Well, Sylvain Turgeon, his 3rd game back since the hamstring injury. Still trying to find his niche there and get her going. Hurlbut lobbed one ahead. It's going to be a 2-line pass. If Turgeon plays it, he can't. Plavsic is there. Adrian Plavsic, longtime NHL veteran with the Vancouver Canucks, shot the puck into the Aero zone, but it was cleared. Puck is gobbled up by Kelly Hurd. He'll move it up ice. Kelly Hurd up through the neutral zone, across the line, gives to Freer, looks in front, trying to get it through. Here's a great pass. O'Connor right in, turns, shoots. Bergeron stopped it. He'll cover up and hold on. And then Allan Egeland came in there and gives Mike Maurice a little bit of bump. And, you know, I was talking to Al Conroy before the game, Greener, and I asked him, I said, Al, do you expect this to be a physical contest? He says, Adam, you know, I don't think it will be. If it is, we're ready to play it. But I think we just want to play our system, do our thing, and not really worry as much about what the Atlanta Knights are doing.
Well, I think both teams have gone that route already, and, you know, it turned ugly. And I think as it progresses, these teams are getting down the stretch here, and they know how important these games are. So neither team wants to be the one to take the initiative and really make it into a penalty-ridden game. And so you'll probably see them mostly play hockey tonight, unless there's a little bit of ugliness just between a couple guys maybe.
7 seconds to go in the period. We're in the first. And the Aeros and the Knights tied at 1, a face-off to the right side of Bergeron. Freer trying to kick one to Valimont. That's worked away. It's going to be held in by Hurlbut with 3 seconds left. Turns, ripped his shot. That just went wide of the net. That'll be the period. So we are through with 20 minutes of action from the Summit. Dave Tippett and his Aeros with a goal, and the Atlanta Knights with a tally, and it's a 1-1 game after 20 minutes. When we return, we hopefully will be chatting with Marc Freer. Back with that after this.
For the star-studded Dallas Cowboys, it was a super climax to an amazing season. Share the glory in this exclusive Cowboys Super Pack, the incredible new Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl Champions video, plus this super special leather-bound Sports Illustrated commemorative edition, both free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. Get Troy and Emmett, Primetime, and The Playmaker in this star-packed video, plus the gold embossed individually numbered SI commemorative edition, a magnificent championship memento you'll treasure forever. Get this exclusive Cowboys collector's package free when you order 54 issues of SI for only $1.47 an issue. Save over 50% off the cover price. Use your credit card. Call now to get your unbeatable super pack, free from Sports Illustrated. It's a sports experience like no other. Get into it.
Coming to pay-per-view, Rodeo Houston, the wildest, toughest rodeo action. Rodeo's elite by invitation only, plus full concerts from George Strait, Alabama, and Patty Loveless. It's Rodeo Houston, the three-event spectacular that will rock the rodeo and country music world. Order now. Rodeo Houston on pay-per-view. Discount coupons at Kroger stores.
Hoops fans, the Dr. Pepper Southwest Conference Classic slams into Dallas's Reunion Arena March 6th through 9th. Call 1-800-800-SWC8 for tickets and your chance to catch the men and women of the Southwest Conference fighting for the final SWC crown. It's your last opportunity to catch your team play its final Southwest Conference game. So be there for the Dr. Pepper Southwest Conference Classic. For ticket packages and information, call 1-800-800-SWC8.
Welcome back to the Summit, everybody. We're in the first intermission. The Aeros and the Atlanta Knights tied at 1. Adam Gordon along with Mike Greenlay, and that was a very tight checking period, I thought. What did you think about it?
Well, I think both teams are a little wary of opening it up a little too much. They both know that they have, both teams have the kind of guys that can really put the puck in the net, and if you open it up too much, it might turn into a shootout.
Well, speaking of shootouts, we got a top-notch shooter standing by with us, and that's Marc Freer. And Marc, we look at it as being a tight checking game here in this first period. What did you think about it?
I think you guys are right. We don't want to open it up if we can. Guys like Drulia and Ruff, Peter White there, they can all put the puck in the net. And, you know, Atlanta's playing well right now. They've won 4 in a row, so we're looking to keep it tight and play our system. We're a lot better road team than we are at home, and that's because we don't try any fancy things on the road. So we're going to keep it simple, and I think for the next 2 periods, you're going to see a simple game and continued tight checking.
Marc, as far as for yourself, you've really found the scoring touch now, and last week you said something that all of a sudden in practice it came to you. You explain that to us a little bit.
Well, it's just one of those things I've been fighting all year. It's tough to explain. I don't know why things haven't gone in. I think I'm starting to think too much instead of just shooting the puck as quick as I can and looking for the quick holes. I'm starting to overthink, and that's just caused problems for the first half of the year.
Has the change in the forechecking system over the coaches from Terry Ruskowski to Dave Tippett, has that affected you at all?
Yes, it has. Now I know exactly where Scott Arniel is going to be. Before, when we're doing the other systems, he might be in the corner, he might be up high. This system, I know he's going to be up high. I know around the area he's going to be, and I don't really look that hard for him. I just kind of put it to an area, and he seemed to have been there.
Marc, with a guy like Mark Lamb playing so well, and of course with the reacquisition of Paul DiPietro, does that take pressure off you and Scott Arniel and allow you guys to play a little more freestyle?
It takes a little pressure off the scoring, but you know, I enjoyed that the last few weeks when DiPietro wasn't here. I enjoyed the ice time, and both offensively and defensively, the situations I could play in. My time's been limited a little bit since Rocky's got back, but you know, I'm not going to complain.
You know, it's a great story with Troy Gamble, the fact that he didn't play for well over a month. What did you think about him coming back? Talk about his play a little bit.
I think he's in the same boat I am, but he stands out a little more. If he has a bad goal against him or a bad play happens to him, it stands out for the 10,000 people in the stands. If I don't score, it doesn't really stand out as much as a goalie. So I think he was going through the same thing, and it's funny, you know, I wish someone could come down and explain it to me, but all of a sudden it just appeared.
All right, Marc, we really appreciate you stopping by, and we wish you the best of luck. Keep lighting the lamp.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that's Marc Freer that joins us in the first intermission. It's a 1-1 hockey game, and we'll have more from the Summit right after this.
Houston,
Joe Myers Ford and Joe Myers Toyota have made it easier than ever to drive the new car, truck, or van of your dreams.
Sign and drive.
Drive any new Ford or Toyota and make no payments till April. Plus, get $4,500 off through Monday. New F-150 pickups, $199 a month, 0 down. New Corollas, $169 a month. Plus, buy today and we'll pay off your trade no matter what you owe.
Sign and drive.
Only at Joe Myers Ford Toyota.
There's a new team of cops on the beat. Uh-oh. They're decisive.
This is strictly police business.
They're resourceful.
The only reason I got this big was to keep myself company.
They're fearless.
We shouldn't be in the dean's office. Lower to the right.
In fact, the way they preserve law and disorder is laughable.
You sold the squad car?
Get ready for a new kind of arresting television. Campus Cop, an all-new comedy series. Saturday night is something else. Only on USA. Saturday nights at 9:30, 8:30 Central.
Hi, I'm Randy Sparagi. I'll join Andre Aldridge tonight at midnight for the Press Box. It's a big day in the NBA and the NHL. We'll have all the highlights for you. Plus a profile of Indian slugger Albert Bell. It's all coming your way tonight on Prime Sports.
Every week, the top teams, the star players, their performances shining through on the Women's Basketball Show.
Auburn and Tennessee, Sunday at 6, live on Prime Sports.
From Emory to Jackie to RC, from the wishbone to the birth of the 12th man team to the wrecking crew. Relive the greatest plays, games, and players in the new video Domination in College Station. The modern era of Texas A&M football. The video, a must for all Aggie fans. To order your official Domination in College Station video for only $24.95, call 1-800-903-7803. That's 1-800-903-7803.
Game is tied at 1 in the first intermission, and I'll tell you, you look at the way that the Aeros came out, and it seemed like they were getting outshot and out-hustled again, but then they got that first goal from DiPietro and turned out to be a good period for them.
Yeah, that certainly was a nice goal, and I think that gave them a little spark. Like I said, both teams are kind of wary of opening it up. Both have a lot of scoring capability, and if you turn this game into a shootout, there could be a problem later on down in the third period, so I think both teams are going to want to play a defensive style and maybe wait till that third period before they open anything up.
And I thought coming into this game would have a little bit of playoff atmosphere. Do you feel it at all?
Well, I think so. I think this game really, I guess it doesn't lend to anything further down the road necessarily, because in order for these two teams to meet in the playoffs, it would take some unbelievable things to happen. But I think this style of game, good defensive, hard-hitting game, is the kind of game you will see in the playoffs. And hey, this is a very important game, which is also like the playoffs.
Well, Paul DiPietro started it off for the Houston Aeros, and he had a very nice goal.
Well, he certainly did. This is a beautiful goal, a great shot right up underneath the bar. And you know what? You look at J.C. Bergeron in his position. He is in great position as the puck's chipped off the boards. J.C. Bergeron has great position on DiPietro, but you know what? DiPietro put that where I don't think very many other people could have, right underneath the bar in the corner. That's his 18th goal of the season, and he gets it from Krupke.
And then the Knights come back with one that's a questionable goal, but it looks good.
Well, it looked good to me. Drulia feeds Plavsic. He takes a good hard shot, and I guess what you want to look at is where Ruff's stick hits the puck before it goes in the net. If Ruff sticks in the air above the crossbar when he hits the puck, that's fine, but it's when he hits the puck right there, that's where you have to measure the height of his stick, and it's called a goal, and Jason Ruff has his 34th of the season.
And that leads the Atlanta Knights, as you say, with 34 goals, and the game is tied at 1. Coming out in the second period, and talking with Marc, I don't suspect that this game's going to change, and I think you're going to see it be tight checking, and I have a feeling that it might stay physical, a little bump and grind after every whistle.
Well, I think it almost has to. If it's going to stay defensive like that, both teams are going to have to hit the forwards coming in the zone, because both teams possess a lot of speed, and the only way you slow down speed is to hit it.
All right, we'll have more, plus the stats from that first period when we return. It's the Aeros 1, the Knights 1 back after this.
Systematically developed and engineered for over 30 years. Never revealed to the American public. Until now. The Navy SEAL Elite Fitness System, a video series hosted by Scott Helvenston, a 12-year SEAL Team veteran, SEAL Team physical training instructor, world champion pentathlete, and nationally certified fitness trainer.
Fitness doesn't start with machines or exercise gimmicks. It starts with you, right here, with your desire. I'm not just going to provide you with the tools to change your body. I'm going to provide you with the tools to turn that desire into motivation and change your entire outlook on fitness.
Mold and develop your body the way these elite commandos do. The Navy SEALs Elite Fitness System is structured into beginning, intermediate, and advanced levels so you can progress at your own pace.
At first, I thought this workout might be too tough, but within weeks, I'd advanced from beginner to intermediate level.
This is the same program that's kept the world's finest fighting force in supreme physical condition for over 30 years. Learn the simple techniques these men have used to develop and maintain peak conditioning.
This is the first workout program that I can stay consistent with.
This training system isn't just for men. The Elite Fitness System utilizes exercises that use your own body weight for resistance.
Not only did I lose 15 pounds, I toned up tremendously.
Do you know what the real secret is to this fitness system? It's convenient. It can be done virtually anywhere. It requires no expensive equipment, and it can be structured into 15-minute workouts. These elements alone will help change your attitude towards fitness.
The Navy SEALs Elite Fitness System is not available in stores. This limited time offer makes this incredible training system yours for only $19.95. Plus, call now and you'll receive the Navy SEALs Ultimate Aerobic Workout free. The world's most advanced training system for only $19.95. If you're not completely satisfied with the Navy SEALs Elite Fitness System, return it for a full refund. Call now.
Welcome back to the Summit. It is a 1-1 game, and let's take a look at tonight's first period statistics. They're brought to you by your local Texas Chrysler Plymouth dealers. Shots on goal 12-9 in favor of the Atlanta Knights. The Aeros 0 for 2 on the power play with 3 shots. The Knights 0 for 1 on the man advantage with 4 shots. The Knights with 13 faceoffs won. The Aeros 11 faceoffs won. 2 penalties for 4 minutes for Atlanta. 1 for 2 for the Houston Aeros. You know, I look at the faceoff numbers, Greener. 13-11. That's the first time in a while I've seen the Aeros trail in a faceoff department.
Well, you have to look at the Atlanta Knights. They possess good centermen as well. And, you know, I mean, both teams, as long as you keep them quite even, you'll be all right. The Aeros obviously have very good centermen. And, you know, in order to have them fall behind a team, they must have some pretty good ones themselves.
Yeah, well, the game is tied at 1, and the fans enjoy it. There's another. That's our new right winger that's coming in. We'll go with the center that we saw earlier. Anyway.
Wow, they're small.
When we come back, we'll have second period action. It's 1-1 from the Summit. We're back right after this. Hockey game tied at 1. The Aeros and the Knights are returning to the ice to battle it out here. A big Central Division battle. The Knights with 9 points in advantage of the Aeros. And it's one of those crucial 4-point games that'll either see the Aeros down by 7 or down by 11 with 22 regular season games remaining. Speaking of hockey, the Aeros are very involved in hockey camps in an effort to educate Houston on the fastest growing sport in America. The Aeros will be hosting 2 weeks of hockey camps this summer. Camps will run for 1 week each, July 15th through the 19th at the Willowbrook Aerodrome and the 22nd of July through July 26th at the Sugarland Aerodrome. Rob Dopson and Graeme Townshend will be the instructors for both weeks, plus there'll be special guest appearances throughout the camp. For more information, call the Houston Aeros at 621-2842. Again, that's 621-2842. And J.C. Bergeron, who faced 9 shots, stopped 8 of them. Tell you, I don't know if I don't care who you are, you're not going to stop that DiPietro shot that he faced in the first.
That was an unbelievable slap shot to the top corner, and DiPietro has any more of those in his bag. It'd be good to let some of them go right now. He scored a nice goal last night on the 2-on-1 on a shot from a very much the same angle, and boy, he really brings that puck across well.
Troy Gamble on the other side faced 12 Atlanta Knights shots and stopped 11 of them. Looked very solid, though.
He certainly did. His good friend, the goalpost, helped him out twice, and he's covering the angles really well, and he's moving well. He looks real aggressive in there, and that's been the key to his success over the last 5 games. Make that 6th tonight.
Al Conroy, Mike Maurice, Kelly Hurd, with Myles O'Connor and Gord Donnelly. Aeros defend the goal to our left to start the second period. Knights in their home white sweaters defend the goal to our right. It is Gord Donnelly off the faceoff. Quick pass snapped out at center for Maurice, and he'll give the Donnelly back at his own blue line. Donnelly wing the pass ahead for Hurd. It went into the Atlanta end. Icing indicated as Atlanta goes back. Sean Rivers touches it, and icing is the call. They'll bring the faceoff all the way back into the Aero zone.
Al Conroy, team captain and third team scoring. He's the kind of guy who adds leadership, speed, and the kind of grittiness that Dave Tippett was talking about just today. And you know what? He adds a lot to an already talent-laden hockey team. And a 4-game point scoring streak coming into tonight's game. I'm sure he would love to add to that.
Face-off will be in the Houston Aeros zone. Off the draw to Sean Rivers. Lets his shot go. Ooh, Campbell got a shoulder on that. And it sliced up over the glass and out of play.
The Atlanta Knights aren't afraid to take a shot through the screen. They were successful on that on their first goal as Plavsic took a good hard shot and Ruff was in front to deflect it. And Sean Rivers lets one go from the point and just grazes Campbell's shoulder, it looked like, and put it up into the stands. The faceoff will remain in the same spot. Just a good hard slap shot, and it was a little too high, but it actually hit the defenseman's stick. I thought it might have hit Gamble.
Boy, the shots come in so fast, it's sometimes hard at this angle. Looked like it went off his shoulder, but it hit a stick. Puck is at center. Aeros trying to move it ahead. O'Connor's got his man hemmed in along the boards. He grapples in there pretty good. They continue to fight it around the boards, and now the whistle sounds, and everybody getting locked up. And then everyone kind of separating there.
Once again along the board, Stan Drulia trying to move it in along, and Myles O'Connor stepped up on the play. They both grappled at the blue line and eventually called offside as everyone kind of moves into the pile as it turned into somewhat of a scrum. And Drulia with an assist tonight on the Jason Ruff goal. And leading this team exactly by example. As we said, Davidson chips it up along the boards, and Drulia gets caught along the boards and can't find the puck, and O'Connor works him over a little bit up high there, and like we said, trying to get under the skin, and both of them going back and forth at each other, and eventually it's called offside as the puck's kicked in ahead of the play. And Myles O'Connor looking very aggressive tonight, to say the least.
Face off just inside the Aero blue line. DiPietro against Peter White. Off the draw, the Aeros have got it. It's Mike Hurlbutt who will scamper to center and rip the puck into the Atlanta zone. Pursuing is Turgeon, bumped by Fletcher. It's chipped away and cleared out at center and into the Houston Aeros zone. There's Hurlbutt going back. Marc Greig takes his man along the boards. Here is Steve Fletcher in behind the net. Fletcher trying to center when it came to Peter White. Shoots, and he whipped one just wide. Lamb will jump on the loose puck, and the Aeros bring it up ice. It is Lamb. The pass too hard and fly for DiPietro, but it does get into the zone. Bergeron spanked it along the boards, and Marc Greig waits for it and moves it right wing. Quick pass for Peter White. Give it back to the right side for Greig. Moves it in for Fletcher, but that's knocked away by Krupke. And the Aeros, Mark Lamb takes over. It's a bump from Fletcher, and the puck cleared, not out. Fletcher behind the net trying to feather one for Greig. They battle for it, and here's the puck picked up by Turgeon, moved out at center for Paul DiPietro. In across the line, DiPietro dropped it, Lamb wide shoots, stick save made by Bergeron. DiPietro hooks one for Lamb behind the net. He centered one, and Corey Spring will move it out. Here's Brent Peterson back for Spring, right over his stick. Valimont had to go back and clear it out at center. DiPietro trying to move it up ice, but Dean Zayonce is there. Takes a check from Arniel. Puck is in the Aeros zone, and it is gobbled up by Arniel, but he ran into his own man, Valimont. Here's his shot, and Gamble stopped it. Valimont ran into his own man, Scott Arniel, and took him right off the play. Valimont moves the puck up ice to Graeme Townshend. Cross the line, shoots, and he didn't get good wood on it. Bergeron stuck it aside. Plavsic takes Townshend to the boards. Arniel cuts in, short angle shot. Stopped by Bergeron, picked up by Jakes. Waiting, worked one to Freer. Mark Freer along the right side. He's tapped into the boards by Dean Zayonce. And now it is Townshend. Checked by Egeland with 2.5 gone in the second period. It's a 1-1 game. Allan Egeland takes over for Atlanta. Moves it up the left wing boards. Egeland dumped the puck into the Houston zone. Gamble comes out. Gamble fired one along the boards. Egeland trying to move it down. It came behind the cage, and there's Carl Valimont to take over. Valimont's pass goes all the way down the ice. This will be an icing call on the Aeros as Sean Rivers goes back. They'll bring the face-off back to the Aeros zone.
Carl Valimont hasn't been in the lineup for a couple games, but certainly he's come in tonight and done a good job. He's on defense now, not on that left wing that he was a couple games ago.
3 goals, 8 assists, 11 points for Carl. We already talked about where all 3 goals came. You know what? If we had laser measuring technology, I think you'd find that it was dead on. Each spot he let that shot go.
I don't know if it was that accurate, but he certainly likes
his shot was.
Yeah, he was. His shot certainly was, and a couple of them were pretty sharp angles. And Carl just wound up and took a shot. And you know that's something a lot of players don't do these days is take a shot when you got it. They try and make the pretty play, but Carl just wound up and let him go, and he was rewarded with goals on all 3 of those situations.
Off the draw. draw. O'Connor wings one ahead out at center. Goes back into the Atlanta zone with Bannister's there. Sean Rivers, quick pass, snapped out at center. And it's back into the Arizona. We've got another icing call. No, it went to Gamble. He had to play it, and that negates the icing. O'Connor's pass goes through the neutral zone, and back to play it is Drew Bannister. He's forechecked by Maurice, but the Knights have it. Drulia moves it up ice. Stan Drulia left side, had it poke check. Sean Rivers got by Donnelly, who fell, shoots, great save, Gamble rebound. Gamble stopped the lead. Davidson rebound shot, and Rivers picks it up, shoots it in behind the net. Davidson trying to center one for Ruff, knocked off the puck by O'Connor. Loose puck for Myles O'Connor, and he will shoot one out at center ice. Back goes Sean Rivers to his own blue line. He's forechecked by Kelly Hurd. And it's winged out at center. Lee Davidson trying to snap one ahead. It's knocked away by Maurice, moving down the left side, but Bannister got there. Battle for the puck in the corner. Kick for Kelly Hurd. Looks in front, but it's gobbled up by Davidson, and here come the Atlanta Knights. Lee Davidson at center with 4 minutes gone in the second. Game tied at 1. Knights making changes on the go. Krupke fired one at center, and it's jumped on by Craig Redmond. Redmond's pass came over to Marc Greig. He stood up at the blue line by Gord Krupke, but that's offsides in play. Whistle down. Let's take timeout. 4 minutes gone by at the second period. It's the Aeros 1, the Knights 1. Back after this, but first this word from Southwest Airlines.
If you're waiting for a special occasion to fly, we'd like to remind you they happen every day. Southwest Airlines senior fares for people 65 and over. Fully refundable fares to every one of Southwest Airlines' scheduled destinations. Every day of the year.
For cars that can benefit from higher octane,
Frank, we're late.
Texaco Clean System 3 Power Plus and Power Premium are formulated to clean your engine's intake valves, fuel injectors, and combustion chambers while you're driving. For smooth starts and sure acceleration, just give us 5 tanks, and we think you'll see a difference. A word of advice, though. Maybe you'd better leave the windows rolled up.
Add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
Back at the Summit, tied game 1-1 as Rivers comes down the wing with a good hard shot, and Gamble showing his worth right here, making the save once and then stopping the rebound on Davidson. A good job by Gamble staying with the puck on that play, and he's having a whale of a game.
Off the face-off, Knights go back to play. It's Craig Redmond in behind the cage, rolled one to Reggie Savage. Gives to Peter White, push ahead, and here is Greig in a low shoot. By Gamble. Wow! A terrific glove save. He will hold on.
You know, that was an amazing pickup by Greig to pull the puck out of the air right at the blue line and knock it down and come in on the breakaway. And Troy Gamble equals that great play with a glove save. The pass is a little bit high, and boy, did Greig do well to knock this one down. But Gamble reads this one all the way as he pulls it out of thin air and holds the score at 1-1. What a great glove save by Troy Gamble.
And it'll bring a face-off to his left. Knights win it, but picked up by Hurlbut and crammed down the ice. This will be another icing call. Redmond goes back to play, and then icing is whistled down. 15:26 to go in the second period, and the game is tied at 1.
You know, Mike Hurlbut came in the trade for Jim Pack. Actually, we just saw Jim Pack against Minnesota on Wednesday. He has been really good. 2 goals, 6 assists in the 16 games since joining Houston. You know what? He adds a good, solid defensive posture out there on the blue line. But I tell you what, where his worth comes a lot of times is on that power play. He gets up on the point, and he has a heck of a slap shot. And when he gets that one-timer going and gets those pucks on net, I tell you what, it's easy pickings for the forwards for the Houston Aeros.
Face off in the circle to the left side of Troy Gamble. Davidson against Mark Lamb. And the sticks are down, drop of the puck. Here's a quick shot, snapped in traffic, blocked, and the Aeros are in transition. 3-on-2, here they come. Turgeon leads the rush, gives the pass, DiPietro, Turgeon gets it back, right in. His pass skipped over the stick of Lamb, and that rush is halted. Puck picked up by Turgeon, but knocked away. And here come the Knights. It's Sean Rivers looking for Jason Ruff, but it's knocked away, and then Turgeon ran into Ruff, knocked him right down. As it's picked up by O'Connor. I think it was both those guys had their heads down and just kind of collided. At center ice, DiPietro. Great pass. Turgeon shoots. And he went upstairs but missed the net. Turgeon along the board. Knocked away by Davidson, and Drulia's got a man to beat Donnelly. Drulia right side. Centered. Here's Ruff. Shoots. Hammered it wide. Rebound is picked up by Turgeon. And all of a sudden, this game has opened up a bit. Peterson the drive. And that's tipped away by Turgeon. Loose puck. Davidson turns, shoots. Blocked by none other than Gord Donnelly. Great play there by Donnelly. A shot. Blocked again in front, and the Aeros will turn it up ice, and it's 2-on-2 again. Lamb with DiPietro. Lamb across the line, trying to move it down as Bannister hems in Lamb, and they continue to grapple for it. Oh, Lamb got a stick up, and then Bannister got a stick up on Lamb, and then he goes after Lamb, and then in there was Freer, and the Aeros, I'm looking, do they have anybody in there that can really go after him?
Well,
Townshend.
It looked like the stick got caught up in the helmet of Lamb, and Bannister just kept wrenching away at it, and I don't know what's going to be called on this one, but Bannister could easily get called on the high sticking, and Jake's coming in there and getting a shot from Bannister, and I don't know what McGuire's going to call here. He could easily call both Jakes and Bannister, and Bannister might find himself with a double minor, but on that original altercation, you see Lamb coming down, and he just chips it down in there, and looks like Bannister gets his stick up, and he keeps working him. Lamb gets him back, and then as you see, the stick gets caught in the looks like in the neck area of Lamb, and they just go after it. Eventually, everyone goes in there into the scrum, and you were asking about anybody being available to throw some tough stuff, and Jake's, of course,
I didn't see him out there
on the ice.
He was in the middle of one. That's why I didn't see him.
I think he was at the point he came around the back of the net, and it looks like, well, right now, it looks like the Aeros will take the extra minor as Jake's.
You got to be kidding me.
It looks like it. I'm surprised Bannister didn't get one for high sticking and then one for roughing afterwards, but it's not the call.
Well, all right. 14-19 to go, and a moment ago, Gord Donnelly had a terrific block. And he just does it all the time, Gord Donnelly.
Well, Gord Donnelly, I think that's like his second or third block of the game, and you know, he takes pride in that. It's actually it's almost like an art form. Seriously, because it requires timing. For you to block a shot, if you drop too early, you better put your water wings on, because it looks like you're swimming. But if you drop too late, of course you're ineffective. You have to drop right in line of fire, and just to do that in itself is a brave thing to do, as defensemen don't have the kind of equipment a goaltender does, but a great job by Donnelly.
Here's Savage bringing it across the line. Krupke thwarts him off. Puck is loose. Here's Peter White cutting in. Trying to center one. The shot. I think that hit the post. Puck came out in front, and Gord Krupke's lost his stick. Here's Adrian Plavsic. Left side setting up on the power play. Puck is loose. Plavsic to White. Back to the line. Greig winding, shooting. Gamble saving. Rebound. White gives to Plavsic, but he couldn't find the handle. Greig left side. Met by Freer. Peter White base to the left circle. Looks centered. Here's where White can move in, but Arniel read that beautifully. Now does White. Give it to Greig with 1:15 on the power play. Center one. Savage shoots. That may have grazed the post. Now the puck is controlled by Atlanta. Peter White to Marc Greig. Here is Greig to Plavsic. Top of this is more of a horse race than anything, because we've had post time, 5 times? Marc Greig left side. He'll move it back to the line. Here's the shot. Gamble got a piece of that one. Hurlbutt chipped it along the boards, and it went up over the glass and out of play. With just about 7 minutes gone in the second, a 1-1 game.
Boy, you're not kidding, Adam. 2 posts just in that one segment there. The Atlanta Knights had 2 posts in the first period, and now once again they find themselves banging a couple off the post. Gamble making saves in between all of those, but White drops the puck back, and Greig puts one off of Gamble, then off the crossbar, and then following up on the play, I think it comes from Plavsic at the point. He'll feed it, and there that puck goes off the post. So we have 2 posts in on this power play so far. That adds the Knights total to 4 goal posts tonight. A lot of iron being wrung tonight down behind Troy Gamble, who's, I guess as a goaltender, you always say, well, I had the angle so good, I made him hit the post.
Off the draw, Atlanta brings it in. Ruff right side, and it gets Ruff. Turns the puck in front for Drulia. Stan Drulia back to the line for Craig Redmond. On the left side for Stan Drulia. Centered one for Ruff, and that was Lee Davidson on the doorstep. Ruff picked it up. Give it to Sean Rivers. Back to Ruff. Now Lee Davidson, base of the right circle. Power play down to 18 seconds. Davidson carves one back to the line, but Sean Rivers couldn't hold it in. It's back out at center. Craig Redmond, left side, circles away from Conroy. Gives the puck to Jason Ruff, and he tried to knock it back. Maurice has him tapped into the boards, and Myles O'Connor is there. He will swing it off the stick of one of the others, off Maurice, and it went down the ice, but that'll do it for the power play. Teams are at 5 aside. Here come the Knights. It's Jason Ruff, but we've got a whistle, and the puck did go off a high stick, and we will take timeout. 12:13 to go in the second period. It's the Aeros 1, the Knights 1. Back after this. 12:13 to go in the second period. It's a 1-1 game. Adam Gordon, Mike Greenlay, and well, we were wrong. We speculated at the start of the second period things just might be tightening up.
Yeah, well, things have opened up a little bit. We've seen a lot more opportunities on goal, and on that power play, we saw 2 posts. Somebody's got to answer the phone because the bells are ringing here, and it looks like it's opened up a bit. Maybe that's good for the fans, but I don't know about for the game or both teams here.
I think the only thing ringing in your ears.
Maybe so.
Puck is in the Atlanta Knight end. It's Darcy Rowanka, but it's picked up by Turgeon. Wrist shot wide. Jakes turns one in there, bounced to Bergeron, and went behind that stuff shot. Turgeon shoots, and that caught a stick and deflected into the corner. That is Marc Lamb, sends one in. DiPietro shot blocked. Another chance for DiPietro, couldn't pull the trigger. Paul DiPietro looking for Sylvain Turgeon on the boards. It's picked up by Peter White. Turgeon takes it away. Sylvain Turgeon cuts him with a backhander. That's deflected, bounced in the corner. Turgeon trying to dig it out, and here's Marc Lamb. Lamb, left circle, looks for the pass, gives it to Turgeon. Aeros cycle the puck in front. Here's Lamb. Holt couldn't get the backhand away. Centered one, but DiPietro came through the zone before he could get a shot away. Now it's back to the line. Jakes holds it in. Good work by the Aeros here as they forecheck pretty tenaciously. Now Turgeon shoots, and it was stopped by Bergeron. It's picked up by Rowanka and shot the length of the ice. This will be an icing call if Valimont can get there, and he will, and play is whistled down. 9 minutes gone in the second. Game is tied at 1, and boy, that was one of the best efforts for the Aeros holding it in we've seen in this game.
Yeah, they did forecheck really well on that play, and they owned the zone as they moved the puck around really well. Marc Lamb ragging the puck a little bit, doing a good job behind the net. And finally, DiPietro gets the puck out to Turgeon, and he lets one fly as he takes a good hard shot. Bergeron had to be sharp on that save as he kicks the right pad out and the puck to the corner. And the Aeros finally putting some great pressure on down deep in the Knights zone. Bergeron with 15 saves tonight. It's a 1-1 hockey game.
Face off is controlled by Bannister, picked up by Freer. He's got Arniel in front, but couldn't get it to him. He kind of had his back turned, trying to get away from Davidson. Freer in behind the net, gives it to the line. Here's a chance for O'Connor. Right side, Donnelly shoots right on. Bergeron dropped it, picked up by Townshend, looped it over to Scott Arniel. Back for Townshend behind the cage. He's worked on by Drew Bannister. Now it is Freer, bumped by Davidson. They grapple some more for it. Sean Rivers goes in to gather in a puck. Now it is Gord Donnelly. Overskated the puck, and the Knights bring it up ice. Here they come 3-on-3. Drulia right side, filled by O'Connor. But there's Bannister's shot. It went wide of the net. Freer left side, chipped it off the boards. Townshend trying to move it ahead. He was hip checked by Rivers, but it's O'Connor jumping up on the play. It's O'Connor right side, knocked away, and Drulia's got it. Flings one for Bannister. It's up the right wing boards and right back at center, and Myles O'Connor's got it. O'Connor at his own blue line. Rolls one for Graeme Townshend. That is a 2-line pass, and the faceoff will come back into the Aeros zone. Don't forget to join us next Friday. That's March 1st for more IHL hockey action when the Aeros take on the Michigan K-Wings. The Aeros haven't seen the K-Wings since early in November when they split a pair here at the Summit. That's Houston and Michigan, Friday, March 1st, right here on Prime Sports and Super Talk Radio 950 KPRC. And speaking of KPRC, we invite you to stay with us following the game. We'll be taking your calls tonight, and I'm sure a lot of questions will be in your minds about this one with playoff implications on this one. Face off. As you see, the number 777-5772. Faceoff is controlled by the Knights. Right side, it was turned in. Egeland trying to get it for Brent Peterson. That's knocked away, and Mike Maurice will hoist it out at center. Dean Zayonce to the right side for Egeland. Takes a bump from Conroy, and the puck goes back into the Aeros zone. Jakes rolled it near side for Maurice. Gives it to Conroy, and it's up for center ice for Maurice. Picked up again by Craig Redmond, and he'll move it up ice. Redmond, the pass. Corey Spring knocked away, and Maurice trying to move it through the neutral zone. Battle for the puck. Kelly Hurd came in there to have a look at it, and it goes into the Atlanta Knights zone. Conroy in after it. It's pushed along the boards. Maurice trying to knock it down. They battle some more. Conroy, good work in the corner. Here is Kelly Hurd moving behind the net, trying to stuff one in there, but Brent Peterson comes back, and it's out at center ice for Allan Egeland. Allan across the line. Egeland, here's a penalty coming up. It might be to the Knights. I don't know. Gamble covers up. It's going to be a hold. It looked like one of the Aeros went down, but it might come against Houston.
Well, it looked like Brent Peterson grabbed Jakes by the arm and threw him to the ice as they broke into the zone. McGuire, I think, caught that as Peterson will go to the box for the hold, and the Aeros will find themselves on the power play once again. They haven't scored a power play goal yet tonight, but this will give them an opportunity to take the lead as you see Peterson dragging down Jakes. Really a needless penalty there as they had a 3-on-2 with a back checker, and I don't know why he dragged Jakes down. At least he could have been a little more subtle about it, but he grabbed him around the arm and threw him to the ice, and that's a pretty easy call for McGuire.
The face-off will be at center ice with 9:18 to go. And I don't know what the wait is for.
Coming into tonight's game, the Aeros are 16.1% on the power play. The Atlanta Knights are dead last in the league on the penalty kill at 76.5%. So the Aeros should try and take advantage of that right now. They have been moving the puck around really well and will try and get the goal to get them that 2-1 lead. Right now the score's tied at 1, and the Aeros find themselves on the power play.
It'll be Paul DiPietro, Sylvain Turgeon, Al Conroy with Marc Lamb and Mike Hurlbut. And a face-off at center. It'll be DiPietro against Peter White, and the Aeros win the draw. It is Marc Lamb who will scamper back in behind the cage. Lamb moves it up ice. A pass to the left side for Hurlbut. Hurlbut down left wing, dumped the puck in. After it, Sean Rivers. Hurlbut pursues him. In there was DiPietro. It's dug out by Conroy. Gives to DiPietro behind the net. It took a weird hop and came out in front, and that'll be cleared down the ice. That scooped right over the net, and that could have very easily hit Bergeron and gone in the net.
That would have been a patented Wayne Gretzky score from right behind the net. I don't know how that was deflected, but it did come over at the top of the net.
Gives a whole new meaning to top shelf. Here's a puck back into the Atlanta zone. Aeros after it. Conroy lost an edge, but stays with it. Battling with Bannister. Into the corner they go. It's shoveled to the line. Not out. Held in Hurlbut. Conroy, or DiPietro gives it. Lamb, wide, shoots, fakes, turns out, centered. Oh, DiPietro, marvelous chance, fired it wide. Now Savage getting into it along with Turgeon. Conroy came in there with a big hit. Lamb top of the slot for Turgeon. Wine shoots, stopped by Bergeron. He'll hold on. Seems like Sylvain Turgeon, he's getting the chances tonight, but Turgeon just can't find enough room to get that big patented drive of his, and Bergeron's had his way with Sylvain Turgeon tonight.
Well, Turgeon gets the puck, and I think it got into his skates a little bit here, or at least it handcuffed him enough so he couldn't get a good shot. But earlier, Lamb fakes out the forward, pulls it back, and he couldn't find DiPietro on the back door. DiPietro did get a hold of the puck, but just not soon enough to tuck it in that open side. And Turgeon, right after that, had a chance as he walked into the top of the circle, but looked like he almost fanned on it as he got up on him, and Bergeron had an easy save there.
Off the draw, the Knights have it. Zayonce trying to move it up the boards, and it swung the length of the ice. Lamb goes back. Lamb to play it. He's by Allan Egeland as the power play is down to 40 seconds. It is Marc Freer at center. Down and across the line with Graeme Townshend. Freer looped it behind the net, but Adrian Plavsic goes back to roll it near side. Hurlbut held it in. Mike Hurlbut, right side for Scott Arniel. It's cleared to the line. Not out. Held in again by Hurlbut. Puck battled along the boards. Arniel was there. Plavsic digs it out, and he will shovel it the length of the ice. That'll just about do it for the power play. There's 15 seconds left in it. That's about enough time for a rush and a shot, and that's about it. Marc Lamb. Pass to the right side for Freer. Aeros move it out at center. Power play down to 5 seconds. Freer in across the line. Freer right side. Dropped it for Arniel. Looked it down for Freer. Freer looking in front. The penalty's over. Teams at 5 aside. Freer center one. Oh, it skipped over both Arniel and Townsend's stick. And it's Brent Peterson at center ice and across the line. Peterson sends one for Jason Ruff, but on him was Graeme Townshend. And the puck is picked up by Al Conroy. Conroy, shot one out at center. It goes back into the Atlanta Knights zone with under 7 minutes remaining in the second period. The game is tied at 2. Drew Bannister, a long pass, missing everybody. And Peter White in a battle with Donnelly. They go after who's going to get there. White got there. Oh, I thought White got there to negate the icing, but they say no. They say Donnelly got there. That's icing, and whistle stops play. 6:48 to go in the second period. Game is tied at 1. We'll be back right after this.
One thing we've learned, you've told us over and over again, don't waste my time.
Bill Biessa, News 2 Houston.
Your life is more hectic. You only have so much time to watch news. That's why we've stepped up the pace, cut down the chit-chat, focusing on local news with more stories, with more impact.
Taxpayers won't have to pay twice.
It's a new generation of news, and we know you have a choice. That's why we're glad more and more of you are turning to us.
Coming to pay-per-view, Rodeo Houston. The wildest, toughest rodeo action. Rodeo's elite by invitation only. Plus, full concerts from George Strait, Alabama, and Patty Loveless. It's Rodeo Houston. The 3-event spectacular that will rock the rodeo and country music world. Order now. Rodeo Houston on pay-per-view. Discount coupons at Kroger stores.
It's a 1-1 hockey game with 6:48 remaining in the second period, and fans, our boys are busy out in the community, and you can come meet Aeros goalie Grant Shervin at the Oshman Superstore in Baybrook tomorrow, 1 o'clock. Scott Arniel will be at the James Coney Island on Westheimer. That's Wednesday, February 21st from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. You can stop by both locations and meet your Houston Aeros. There is Scott Arniel. 4-point night the other night against Minnesota was held scoreless last night, and at this point has been held scoreless this evening. Puck is in the Atlanta zone. Teams are at 5 aside. Knights out shooting Houston 21-18. Here's a shot by O'Connor. Make that shot number 19 as Bergeron stopped it, and then he will cover up the rebound and hold on.
Right into the mix of thing was DiPietro right after that shot. He got in there for the rebound, and Bergeron was sharp as he took the rebound on his stick and then covered up the puck. Turgeon out there again, going to try and do it again. Last game he had, 2 games ago rather, he had a nice goal from the slot. Took a good hard shot from the slot and beat the goaltender, and you want to see him shooting the puck a lot more, especially with a shot like that.
Here's a shot by O'Connor, whistled wide of the net, picked up by Gordonnelly right side, jammed behind the cage. Marc Lamb stuffed one in there, but Bergeron read it, got a big stick in front of it, and here is Stan Drulia. Drulia out at the right side, center ice and across the line, scooped by Donnelly, cutting in there, but Donnelly reached around to poke it away. Out at center ice, it is Sylvain Turgeon barreling it across the line. Dropped it left side, Lamb. That was intercepted by Ruff. Puck is cleared. And here come the Knights out at center ice. Jason Ruff hits the line. Give to Davidson. Try to drop it back, but it was popped away by Lamb. And the Knights go back. Craig Redmond gives the puck to Dean Zayonce. 5:49 to go in the second, and the game is tied at 1. Lee Davidson dumped the puck into the Houston zone where Campbell slows it. Myles O'Connor is there, and it shot up ice. O'Connor gave it to Conroy. It came to Lamb, and then into the into the Atlanta end. Right side, it's Maurice. He centered one, but it was too far for anyone, and it came right back to neutral ice. 5:27 to go. Valimont fired it into the Atlanta end, picked up by White. And now for Reggie Savage, but that's chipped away by Carl Valimont. Jake's to have a look at it, but it came to Maurice. Hits the line with Conroy. Maurice trying to cut into the slot. He shouldered off the puck, and Darcy Wawenka is there. And he'll shoot it to the line and out at center ice for Reggie Savage. Savage's pass, trying to find Greig. Jakes was back to clear it. Battle for the puck. White moves it for Savage, and it's shot into the Aeros zone. 5 minutes remaining in the second period, and the hockey game is tied at 1. Kelly Hurd out at right side. Conroy missed him, and now it is Allan Egeland the other way. Egeland in on goal, centered one, but Peterson was late getting there, and he goes firing into the net. Compliments of Steve Jakes, and play will be halted. No penalty there, and while they sort everything out, we take a timeout. It's the Aeros 1, the Knights 1, and we are right back after this.
If you've always wanted a Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo, but thought you couldn't afford one, think again. Presenting the Gold Key Plus program at your Texas Jeep and Eagle dealer, where you can get into a Grand Cherokee for just $327 a month. Hey, just $327 a month, and it's only at your Texas Jeep and Eagle dealer. Take advantage of this deal today, and you'll be able to do all the things you never thought you could.
See your Texas Jeep and Eagle dealer.
It's the biggest basketball promotion in the Lone Star State. Prime Sports, Texas Triple Threat.
David Robinson is the man.
Fans from San Antonio, Dallas, and Houston will no longer have to argue over the best team in Texas. The winners go together to see a game in each city on consecutive nights.
Texas Triple Threat. Road trip.
If you win, you get game tickets, lodging, and airfare on Southwest Airlines, the low-fare airline. Go to these participating retailers to enter. Prime Sports, Texas Triple Threat.
Welcome back to the Summit. The Aeros and Knights skating right now to a 1-1 tie with 4:44 remaining in the second period. Egeland comes down and he feeds it a little too early. Good job by Jakes holding up his man Peterson, who eventually is deposited in the net. I suppose if he'd have put the puck in his pants, he'd have had a goal, but nothing happened there as the faceoff will come outside the blue line, as it was an Atlanta Knight that knocked the net off.
Well, he checked his breezers. There were nothing in them. Puck is out at center ice, and the Knights shoot the puck into the Aero zone. Active play, and it's Kyle Valimont, and another icing call, and the face-off this time will come back into the Atlanta end. Some scores real quickly in the IHL to update you on. Detroit at home defeated San Francisco 5-1. Michigan midway in the second period leading Kansas City 5-1. With 6 minutes left in the second period at Bradley Center in Milwaukee, it's the Admirals 4, Chicago Wolves 1. Phoenix at home hosting LA, no score, and Las Vegas is at Utah, and that is a scoreless hockey game. Here, Dave Tippett and his Aeros tied at 1 with the Atlanta Knights.
A low-scoring game, which I don't know, it could have gone either way with these two teams. It could have been real tight checking like we've seen, or it could have been a real blowout. But you know, in one-goal games, the Aeros are exactly 500, 10-10-5. But the Knights have been a little more successful in one-goal games. They're 12-3-6. On the year. The Aeros have outscored their opponents in the last 6 games 23-14, and they've won 4 of those. So I think maybe a lot of goals is just what the Aeros need right now.
Freer and Arniel and Townshend with Jakes and Valimont. Face off left side of Bergeron. Freer trying to chip it down for Arniel behind the net. He centered one, but Bergeron got a stick on it. It's tipped away though for Graeme Townshend. He tried to center one, but Brent Peterson will get there for Atlanta. Clear it out at center. Corey Spring right side. In across the line, and Jakes will gather it in. Jakes fired it off the boards, missed everybody. And this will be icing on the Houston Aeros as Dean Zayonce back to touch. And whistle stops play. 4:09 to go in the second and a 1-1 game.
Steve Jakes playing a good, solid game tonight defensively. And something about
icing?
Icing maybe, Adam.
Well, it takes us to our high-low rule book, and it's brought to you by High-Low Auto Supply. What you need is high-low, and icing's when a player shoots the puck across the center red line and passes opponent's goal line. It's like a 3-line shot. Remember, icing is not called, though, if on an outside attacker or the defending goalie touches the puck first, or it clears the crease, goes through the blue crease, or you are short-handed.
You know, I've seen someone else describe icing, and that was in the movie Slapshot, Denny LeRue.
You can't do this. There's a Seance's shot, and that was hammered wide. It's kind of a mesmerizing shot from Zayonce. You catch my drift. Puck is back into the Atlanta Knights zone. And out at center. Puck just missing Jason Ruff, and Gord Donnelly is there. Donnelly sliced one out at center. Townshend trying to loop one ahead. And it goes into the Atlanta end. Craig Redmond pursues. Arniel takes him to the corner, but Redmond stayed with it. Fired it up for Lee Davidson, and now it's Jason Ruff. One man to beat Donnelly, but Donnelly got a skate on it. Nice play there, and Donnelly will clear it. And here come the Aeros. Freer, can he get it out of there? No. Can Arniel? Yes, here he comes. Arniel left side. The pass just missing Townshend. Oh, just ahead of him. Townshend chipped it behind the net for Arniel. Looped it back for Graeme Townshend. Base of the right circle. Townshend trying to move it along. He takes a bump with 3:17 to go in the second. Still a 1-1 game. Puck is centered, but Jason Ruff is there. Jason Ruff fired one out at center for Plavsic, trying to get around O'Connor. Here's Plavsic, centered one, Davidson shoots. What a right pad save by Campbell. Kicked it out of there like a bad habit, and the Aeros are out at center. DiPietro right side, hits the line. DiPietro right in, makes the move, shakes and bakes, and still with the puck, he centered one, it was knocked away. And it's gobbled up by White. Peter White shouldered in there, and Turgeon is back to play. Gord Donnelly, right side, dumped the puck into the Atlanta zone where Wanka plays it as he's pursued by DiPietro. Puck to the line, and Savage cleared it. Hurlbutt ran into Savage. Puck ahead, and Savage will play it. Savage shoots it into the Aeros zone. Peter White, right side, taken to the boards by Hurd, but they grapple for it. In there looking around was Paul DiPietro. It's in skates, fished out of there by Savage. Reggie Savage along the board, scooped it down for Marc Greig. Base of the right circle, Aero territory. It was centered, kicked away Hurd, but back to the line, Greig trying to move it down. Peter White, watched by Hurd, but Greig picks up the puck with 2 minutes to go. Here is Greig, winds, fakes, sends one over to Sean Rivers. Lets the shot go. Gamble with a right pad save. Sylvain Turgeon, he's got some room to wheel. Here comes Turgeon, hits the line. Turgeon trying to drop it, but it went too far. DiPietro couldn't get there, and the Aeros have to regroup at center. This line needing a line change as they get the puck dumped in. It's 5 fresh skaters come out. Convoy, Maurice, and Hurd are out there with Jakes and Valimont. Puck is at center ice, and Kelly Hurd's got it. Hurd bumped by Greig. It's knocked away by Bannister and into the Houston Aeros zone. Gamble will slow. Jakes rolled it away for Al Conroy, and it's back to center ice. Maurice dumped it in. Out of the net, it was Bergeron. He will cover up and then hold on to it with 1:14 to go in the second period. And the hockey game is tied at 1.
You know, Adam, this game is tied at 1. It's low scoring, tight checking, a lot of mid-zone play. And when there have been some good scoring chances, it seems like the Atlanta Knights are the ones that have them. And that man, Troy Gamble, has come up with some amazing saves. A nice chip pass across and a great toe save by Gamble. And boy, did he come across nicely and kick that one out. And then later, Rivers took a nice slap shot, and Gamble once again through the screen makes a toe save and right back to his feet. And that's why he's been so successful lately. The Aeros are going to have to get some better scoring chances if they're going to beat Bergeron.
Off the face-off, it's Dean Zayonce. Moves it up the boards. In there, Egeland fighting for it. It's bumped out at center as Drulia ran into, who else? Myles O'Connor. I'll tell you what, Stan Drulia has got a shadow following him around, and it's Myles O'Connor. Here come the Atlanta Knights. Lead pass, Egeland's in alone, shoots. What a glove save by Gamble again! Oh my word, Troy Gamble with a glove save, and he will hold on, but the Aeros, I think, are going to get a penalty.
Well, Gamble has had to come up with these kind of saves all night long. And once again, he challenges and he makes the glove save on Egeland as he tries to chip it by Gamble. And what a glove save. He got caught halfway out, but recovers enough to make a fantastic glove save on Egeland. Redmond beats Egeland right up the middle and just beats the defenseman with a pass, and Egeland tries to chip it over Gamble's head, but Gamble, in great fashion, comes out with the gold glove and makes an unbelievable glove save. That's his second unbelievable glove save, and I don't know how many great saves he's made tonight with the other equipment he has on.
Troy Gamble, you gotta glove him.
They did give him a standing ovation with the gloves.
Here is Drulia, a shot blocked by O'Connor and shot back out at center. 40 seconds to go in the period. As we said, a slashing minor up to Al Conroy. And the Knights on the power play. Puck is in. O'Connor cleared to the line, not out. Plavsic held it in. Scooped it down for Ruff, intercepted by Arniel, and that will be the period. Well, there's still 26 seconds, enough for a rush here, but the Aeros get it down the ice. And they'll go into forecheck. Freer in to have a look at it. Adrian Plavsic. He will move it up ice. Plavsic at center. Gives to Rowenka. Dump the puck into the Aeros zone. Arniel, the first man back, turns behind his net with 9 seconds. Arniel along the boards. Chipped it up the wall. Freer is there, and he will shoot it to length of the ice, and that will be the second period. Buzzer sounds, and the Aeros and the Knights. No scoring in that second period. When we resume play in the third, the Knights will have a minute 10 on a power play. That's the man, Troy Gamble. A terrific period for him. 1-1 game. We'll be right back after this.
For cars that can benefit from higher octane, Texaco Clean System 3, Power Plus, and Power Premium gasolines are formulated to clean your engine's intake valves, fuel injectors, and combustion chambers while you're driving. For smooth starts and sure acceleration. Just give us 5 tanks. And you may feel like you've left your old car behind.
Oh, add more life to your car. Take it to the station.
star-studded Dallas Cowboys, it was a super climax to an amazing season. Share the glory in this exclusive Cowboys Super Pack, the incredible new Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl Champions video, plus this super special leather-bound Sports Illustrated commemorative edition, both free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. Get Troy and Emmett, Primetime, and the Playmaker in this star-packed video, plus the gold-embossed individually numbered SI commemorative edition, a magnificent championship memento you'll treasure forever. Get this exclusive Cowboys collector's package free when you order 54 issues of SI for only $1.47 an issue. Save over 50% off the cover price. Use your credit card. Call now to get your unbeatable Super Pack, free from Sports Illustrated. It's a sports experience like no other. Get into it.
If you live in Pflugerville or Muleshoe or any of these towns, you know how much fun it is to live in Texas. But what should really bring a smile to your face is how easy it is for you to get car insurance. In fact, if you live anywhere in Texas, all you have to do to get car insurance with easy monthly payments is call 1-800-477-7390.
Think young, Rodney D. Young.
Call 1-800-477-7390 from Grapevine, or Cut and Shoot, or North Zulch, or Deaf Smith.
I dub the night. They have won. The Aeros with one. We're in the second intermission, and a little Welcome back to the Summit, everybody. Adam Gordon, Mike Greenlay. The Knights and the Aeros are tied at 1, and one of our new jewelry ensembles that we've had, Neil Talmadge at Corporate Sales, has set us up with these new wings. You always said you wanted to fly with me. There's your wings.
There are my wings. They're nice, aren't
These are limited edition. They're hard to come by. You have to get them while they last.
Collector's editions.
I think only, for some reason, number 500 sticks in my mind. That is all that were made, something like that. So you got to get them while you still can. They're nice, heavy duty, nice looking emerald or wings, and I knew you always wanted to fly with me. Yep. So there you go.
They certainly are nice.
It's kind of hard to soar with eagles when you're flying with turkeys. Is that the old saying?
Something like that.
Tell you what, not much flying going on out there in that second period. It opened up a little bit, but then it quickly tightened up again.
Well, that's right. I mean, it's been a tight game all the way through the first period, and actually, the only great opportunities that were by the Atlanta Knights. They broke into the zone a few times, and it was Troy Gamble that stood on his head and really made some great saves. And other than those few great scoring chances, it was really tight hockey, and we still have a 1-1 score because of it.
Yeah, Troy Gamble definitely the difference in that period. J.C. Bergeron had a good period, but I don't think he was tested nearly like Troy Gamble was.
Oh, certainly not. And some of the saves that he was required to make, he made them, got down in that butterfly position that he loves so much, and he made the great saves, and then covered up the rebound as well. So the Aeros weren't able to get in there and really dig at any of the rebounds because of the defensive play of the Atlanta Knights. So, like I said, goal-scoring opportunities to the Atlanta Knights seemed to really dominate that period. But after that, there wasn't too much action.
All right, let's take a look at the Columbia HCA scoring summary brought to you by Columbia Healthcare Systems. All the scoring came in the first period. Paul DiPietro started it off for Houston at 10-13 from Gord Krupke. And the Aeros had a 1-0 lead, but that was short-lived as almost 3 minutes, a little over 3 minutes later, Jason Ruff gets his 37th goal of the year from Adrian Plavsic and Stan Drulia, and it is a 1-1 hockey game. So it takes us into the third period, and again, I don't think we can reiterate enough how important that third period is, because this hockey game is very crucial for the Aeros. If they do not win this hockey game, they will be 11 points down with 22 regular season games to play. The Knights with 2 games at hand. Now, we're not saying it's impossible, but it's going to take a lot of work. It means the Aeros are going to have to do a lot of winning and hope the Knights kind of struggle a little bit.
Well, certainly. I mean, one or the other has to happen, and just to wash out Atlanta's win last night and the Aeros' loss last night, the Aeros are going to have to win. There's a lot of reasons to win. The Aeros just going to have to come out and do it. And, in a period that they have had success in, and that is the third period, let's hope that they can put it together in this period.
All right, Knights trying to win their 5th in a row. Aeros hoping to end that. But when we return, we've got highlights and stats from that second period right after this. Game is tied at 1. We'll be right back.
Hey, sports fans, I've finally been called up to manage in the big leagues. Now you can, too. You'll have more Major League fun this season with Fanatics Only Fantasy Baseball. All you need to manage in this league is a love of baseball and a touch-tone phone. Our unique league system allows you to compete with 24 other players of equal skill for a chance to win over $1 million in prizes, putting you in scoring position for one of 13 Dodge trucks a Dodge Viper, and a trip to the '96 World Series. For just $99.95, you get the Fanatics-only league rules, player rosters, and an MCI phone card. As a signing bonus, you get this Fanatics hat, shirt, cooler, and a certificate towards an MCI sports pager. When you order now, you get this baseball guide with 95 stats, including the experts' picks for '96. And the whole thing's got a money-back guarantee. Now that's a great deal. Step up to the plate and call now. Now, if only I could get my team to show up for practice. I thought they said it was today. Fanatics only. Fantasy baseball. It's Major League fun. Guys!
From Emery to Jackie to RC, from the wishbone to the birth of the 12th man team to the wrecking crew, relive the greatest plays, games, and players in the new video Domination in College Station, the modern era of Texas A&M football. The video, a must for all Aggie fans. To order your official Domination in College Station video for only $24.95, call 1-800-903-7803. That's 1-800-903-7803.
It's time for the Century Cellunet Southland Conference Classic. Call 214-750-7522 to catch the men and women of the Southland Conference fighting for the championship title. March 6th through 9th in Shreveport, Louisiana. Make your plans now to party in Shreveport and watch the basketball action of the Century Cellunet Southland Conference Classic. Tickets available now at any Southland Conference athletic ticket office or by calling 214-750-7522.
Hockey game is tied at 1 from the Summit. Adam Gordon along with Mike Greenlay. And, you know, we had mentioned in that second period that it seemed like it was a horse race post time. So we'd like to welcome you to the audio portion of our program and listen to how volatile these posts were in the second period. There's one. There's two. Greener, is your ears ringing? How's 3?
And that was in the first period. But there was 2 in the first, 2 in the second, and wow, that's a lot of posts. But the ones that didn't hit the post hit Troy Gamble, and as he makes a great pad save here on Lee Davidson, who's known for his scoring touch and does a great job. And then Redmond feeds Egeland right up the middle. Gamble comes out to challenge, and he finds it in the webbing of his glove. Couple great saves. Gamble is one of the big reasons this score is still 1-1.
And we will take a look at the second period stats brought to you by your local Texas Sheep and Eagle dealer. 25-19, the Atlanta Knights leading the Aeros in shots. Power plays, Atlanta 0 for 2, Aeros 0 for 3. The Aeros trailing in the face-off department 23-22, and both teams with 4 penalties for 8 minutes. So as we look at the start of the third period coming up, I guess if you're Houston, do you really want to change the way things are? Or do you want to come out maybe a little more aggressive?
I think they have to get aggressive now. I mean, the one thing that stat sheet didn't show was goal scoring opportunities. I think Atlanta definitely led in that. They had 3 unbelievable chances. Gamble came up with some amazing saves. The Aeros are going to have to get some of those opportunities themselves in order to beat Bergeron, and they're going to have to do it now because there ain't no time like the present.
All right, the hockey game is tied at 1. When we return, maybe the biggest 20 minutes this season. We'll have it for you right after this.
An innocent woman stumbled onto something she never should have seen.
I'm staring at the personal files of the Undersecretary of Defense.
And now that she knows their secrets, Sandra Bullock is caught in the net.
They've done it to me, they're gonna do it to you.
Now you can surf the internet for free. Just order the net and find out how you can get Earthlink Network's Total Access software with Netscape Navigator for free, plus 2 hours of free internet access. Don't miss the net on pay-per-view.
Enter to win a compact notebook computer on the KRBE website or call the hotline.
Hi, I'm Randy Sparagi. I'll join Andre Aldridge tonight at midnight for the Press Box. It's a big day in the NBA and the NHL. We'll have all the highlights for you. Plus a profile of Indian slugger Albert Bell. It's all coming your way tonight on Prime Sports.
Prime Sports on Ice.
Fletcher takes the man, the puck comes out front, walk-off! A spectacular strolling save.
The Stars and the Lightning, Monday at 4 on Prime Sports.
Game is tied at 1 as we get set for the third period of action. And look at those fine-looking jerseys they're wearing. And you know what? The Houston Aero Charities Department is auctioning off the 1996 IHL All-Star Authentic game-worn jerseys and the 1980 Olympic team jerseys worn during the All-Star weekend. You can call the Aeros at 621-2842 to put your bid in. All proceeds go to the Houston Aeros Charities. They benefit disabled and disadvantaged children in the Houston area. Remember the number 621-2842. Call next week. And Troy Gamble,
he has certainly been tested this game, and he has once again certainly passed the test. Made some great saves. His counterpart, J.C. Bergeron, hasn't seen the kind of action that Gamble has, so I think the Aeros realize that they're going to have to get some good scoring chances on him and see if he is ready to make some unbelievable saves to hold his team in it.
Marc first said at the start of the period, or in the first intermission, that he wanted to see the game continue and thought it would be tight. You think they need to open it up?
I don't think they need to open it up. I think they need to get some good scoring chances, and they have to do that by playing smart hockey and making good on some of the forcing down low and get some openings there and get some good hard shots. They're trying to move it around a little too much, I think.
Puck is dumped in. Now remember, the Aeros are shorthanded for another minute or so to start this third period on a penalty to Al Conroy. Puck is shot into the Atlanta zone. Bergeron slows it, and it's picked up by Darcy Werwenka. Werwenka's pass comes to Lee Davidson, and here come the Knights out at center. It is Lee Davidson across the line. Davidson fires one right side for Jason Ruff. He's belted into the boards by Arniel. Battle for the puck with half a minute remaining in the Atlanta power play. Arniel's in there. It's scraped away by Freer and shot. Oh, it was shot out at center, but it hit, I think, an Aero on the bench and came right back out, and that's a whistle, and they'll get a face-off back in the Aero zone.
Just looking at some quick stats here, when tied after 2 periods, the Aeros are 2-4-2. But on the other side, you look at the Atlanta Knights when tied after 2 periods, they are 500, 5-5-2. So statistically speaking, I guess the weight leans to the Atlanta side. But hey, we're in the summit here, and there's about a good 10-11,000 people in here cheering their Houston Aeros on. And you never know what can happen. The Aeros have been playing great as of late, as well as the Atlanta Knights. It might come right down to the wire here, Adam.
Lamb and DiPietro with Gord Krupke and Mike Hurlbutt defensively, and now DiPietro getting into it with Savage. Maybe they better put Krupke over there.
DiPietro, of course, has the only goal for the Houston Aeros, and that goal gives them 2 goals, 3 assists for 5 points in this, just his 3rd game back from the Maple Leafs. So he has already shown his impact after coming back from the Leafs. He was up there for a couple months.
Puck is in the Atlanta zone. It's Adrian Plavsic. He'll move it up the ice. Plavsic and across the line. Plavsic sends it for Marc. Greig centered. Here's the shot. Score! Peter White got it by Gamble. It's a power play goal with 4 seconds remaining in the Conroy penalty. And 1:07 into the third, the Knights jump out to a 2-1 lead.
A great passing play down low, as looked like Peter White was left pretty much unmolested in front of the net, and he made a good move as Plavsic works the puck down low, and a couple stick checks there as Greig makes no mistake by feeding it across the net. And it looks like a great move. Gamble actually got a piece of it, but threw himself a little too far across the crease, and he came across really hard, and looks like White took it to his backhand and chipped it back, hitting the glove of Gamble, but still making it into the net. The Atlanta Knights lead it 2-1.
That might have been the only thing that's hit his glove that didn't get by him, or that did get by him. Anything that finds that glove tonight, he has been spectacular with it. Puck is in the Atlanta zone. Craig Redmond behind the net, had it taken away by DiPietro. Allan Egeland rolled it away. Carl Valimont trying to lob it down for DiPietro. He's tapped into the boards by Redmond. Lamb sends one in, but it was intercepted by Corey Spring. He'll move out at center ice. Spring right side, goes into the zone, dumped it in, and it was whistled dead as it went into the breezers of Carl Valimont, and play whistled down with 18:25 to go in the third in a 2-1 hockey game.
So now the Aeros find themselves playing a little bit of a catch-up, as a good defensive job on that last play by Carl Valimont, stepping up on the play and getting the puck caught in his pants as he hangs onto it for the faceoff just inside the Aero zone. And once again, the Aeros are going to have to turn things around rather quickly here, or the Atlanta Knights will just turn into a defensive shell and hold them off.
They may anyway. Here come the Houston Aeros right side. Steve Jakes pushed it out at center. And here comes DiPietro across the line. Right in. He's hauled down by Redmond, and a penalty coming up. Greg Redmond did all he could do against DiPietro, and that shoved him down to the ice, and the Aeros will get another crack at it on the power play.
Well, DiPietro showing his speed, his explosive speed, and Redmond had to haul him down, or DiPietro would have been in all alone. And you talk about good penalties, bad penalties. This one I think you can rank under good penalties because DiPietro had him beat by a couple steps. Redmond has to get the lasso on him and haul him in. I know it's rodeo week here in Houston, but that's ridiculous. Hauls him down. He's going to get called on the play, as DiPietro would have certainly had a great scoring chance there.
He would have had a rope. He could have tied him, but DiPietro draws the penalty to Craig Redmond for hooking, and a face-off to the left side of J.C. Bergeron. Aeros need to test him here. They need to score here. Arniel right side. On the right point, down Freer. Looks in front. Stuff shot right on. Bergeron stopped it, and he will hold on.
So Marc Freer does the right thing by stepping out, but he just couldn't hang on to the puck as it was poked away from him, I think by Plavsic. And then Hurlbut couldn't get anything on it as Bergeron had covered it up by then, but a good job by Freer. He sees an opening as he gets a pass from Arniel, and he just takes it. He sees that opening, but a good job for Plavsic to cover up on the play. Drulia comes in there and shovels the puck underneath Bergeron, and the Aeros still haven't found a power play goal tonight.
Mike Hurlbut gathers in a puck back in his own end, and he'll lob one out at center for Mark Lamb. Lamb fired one up into toward the Atlanta zone, but it's shot back in, and Campbell will come out to play it behind the net as Drulia has a look. Stan Drulia with 2 shorthanded goals this year, but boy, you have to keep an eye on him at all times. Puck is out at center. It missed Freer, went into the Atlanta Knights zone. It's icing as the Knights get there, and that'll bring a face-off back into the Aeros zone. And the Aeros down to 1:19 left on their power play with 2.5 gone by in the third, and they now trail in this hockey game 2-1.
And with the first power play not really getting the kind of pressure that they wanted, Dave Tippett elects to throw out his other unit there. Of course, you'll have Maurice with DiPietro, and he has Valimont out there actually. Conroy's out there, sorry, not Conroy, O'Connor's out there, and on the right wing you have...
That's Al Conroy.
Al Conroy, you do have Conroy. So I didn't misspeak.
Puck is picked up by DiPietro, turning in his own zone. Worked the pass to O'Connor. Shot out at center for Valimont. And he booms one ahead for Conroy, and he dumps the puck in. Knocked away Bergeron. Went into the corner. Bannister worked on by Maurice. DiPietro fished it out of skates. DiPietro slicing in. Worked it down. Conroy stuff shot blocked. Maurice overskated the loose puck. Picked up by Bannister. Gently rolled it ahead to Allan Egeland. That shot out at center. Ruff after it, but Valimont goes back, and Conroy is there. Al Conroy moves it up ice. Conroy hits the line, dropped it back. DiPietro hemmed in by Egeland. Here is Valimont, rolled it right in. Maurice, stuff shot. Oh man, jammed it just wide. Had a great move in front, and he stuffed it just wide of the cage. Back out at center, it's Jason Ruff, and he'll gently roll it back into the Aeros zone with half a minute left in their power play.
Last night, DiPietro, Maurice, and Conroy were on a line, but earlier on in the game, DiPietro had moved with Lamb and Turgeon. He's back on that line again.
Puck is in the Atlanta zone. They will clear it out at center ice, and Hurlbut has to go back to play with 3.5 gone in the third and a 2-1 game. Myles O'Connor gets to Hurlbut and across the line. Hurlbut trying to move around Plavsic. It went behind the net. Conroy. Plavsic's got him tied up. Conroy looks in front. Here's Hurlbut again. Shoots. That hit a skate. It's picked up by Plavsic as the penalty is over. Teams are at 5 aside. And here comes Drulia. The pass for Craig Redmond too far. And Campbell will come out, and then he will cover up, and he will hold on with 4 minutes gone. And then he drops it for O'Connor. And Kevin McGuire, the referee, let him play it. Puck is picked up by Marc Greig. Trying to center one. Came back to the line for Reggie Savage. Lost it at neutral ice, and Bannister goes back. The puck spanked into the Aeros zone. Savage pursues, but Arniel is there. Arniel flushed out by Savage. Knocked away by Marc Greig, but they're going to say with a high stick. And we take time out as Greig getting all physical in there. Here we go as he kind of let that shot go at the whistle, but I think cooler heads will prevail here. 15:41 to go. 2-1 Knights, and we're back after this, but first this word from Southwest Airlines.
1996 will be a big year for sports, which means lots of quick turns, lots of short flights, and lots of celebrating. Funny? Sounds like every year at Southwest Airlines, except that this year we turn 25.
1996 will be an election year, which means promises to lower prices, raise employment, and get this country flying high again. Funny, sounds like every year at Southwest Airlines, except that this year we turn 25.
Not long ago, a new breed of Ram came to Texas. With magnum power and big rig looks, Texas liked what it saw. Now we're making it our own, with a special package for Texas. You get an automatic, AM/FM stereo, and even air conditioning. A lot of truck for as little as $15,921. Or lease for just $239 a month. But the only place you can corral one of these Texas Rams is the Texas Truck Stop, your Texas Dodge dealer.
Savage and Marc Greig in the box. They're the two that are in. Mike Hurd, the only one in for Houston. So 2 minutes up on the board to Reggie Savage. And the Aeros with another chance on the power play. Dave Tippett made no bones about his power play last night, even going 2 for 6. He was a little concerned about it. And tonight, they have yet to score on the power play, and they got to do her here.
Well, I think Dave Tippett's a kind of coach that doesn't just look at the numbers and say, 2 for 6, that's 33%. And he doesn't just look at the numbers. He looks at the potential for getting more than that. And a lot of times last night on the power play, they had a chance to make the smart, easy play, and looked like they forced it a little bit a couple times. And that's where Dave Tippett steps up and says, hey, make the easy play, get the shot on net. We need some more shots. That creates turnovers, opportunities, and that's what he wants to see right now in order to tie this game up. The Atlanta Knights lead it right now 2-1.
Stan Drulia will come out on this penalty kill situation with Peter White, who is credited with the go-ahead goal. Sean Rivers, Drew Bannister defensively. The Aeros don't get Mike Hurd because he's in the box, so they'll go with Carl Valimont on the point on this power play with Mark Lamb. Up front will be Freer with Arniel and DiPietro. I don't think we've seen this yet, this combination yet, since DiPietro has returned. So let's take a look and see.
DiPietro looks like a versatile player. He seems to be able to play any position.
By not having Townshend out there, they don't have a guy, obviously, that can really stand up in front of the net. But I think with this, they want to go with a full skill line and see if maybe they can outskill the Knights for a goal. Here they come. The Aeros, Knights pass, or Lamb's pass to Valimont goes in, and here's another icing call. That is 2 icing calls on the power play.
Well, I think the Aeros, once again, as we talked about, are just trying to force that pass a little too much. When you get too many guys leaving the zone too early, it makes it more difficult on that defenseman or the guy playing the defensive position to bring the puck up and actually hit someone. What you need is a couple people supporting you, and if you don't get it, it makes that guy's job, Mark Lamb, coming up with a puck, a little more difficult. He has to really thread the needle in order to make a good pass. If he has more guys back to help support him, if they move up the ice as a unit, then it makes his job a lot easier. In that case, he had to really force a pass as he was being stepped up on himself.
Here's Mark Lamb in behind his net. He'll send a pass for Carl Valimont. Lamb moves it through the neutral zone, down the left side, dumped the puck in, went to the far corner, Arniel, jammed it behind the cage for Freer. He had DiPietro in front, but Bannister crushed Freer along the boards. They battle for it. Bannister picks up the loose puck and shoveled it the length of the ice. 5 minutes gone in the third. Aeros down a goal. Power play down to 1:15. Valimont pass to the right side. Freer didn't see it coming in the night. Shoot it right back down. And the Aeros have to regroup. Carl Valimont. He'll get away from Allan Egeland. Valimont's pass to the right side. Freer across the line. Dropped to DiPietro. Nice pass. Valimont shoots. Stop Bergeron. And he will hold on. J.C. Bergeron about 6 or 7 feet to cut down the angle. And he will hold on with 14.5 to go in the third in a 2-1 game. 57 seconds left in the Savage Minor.
I actually thought that Bergeron tucked that one right up high as Valimont comes in the zone, has a lot of time, and really cranks this one right up high. And yes, he did take it right on the chin. And then it, well, very fortunately, comes right down into his pads, and he holds on. But Valimont going for that top shelf. Holy, really catches that one as it catches Bergeron right in the chin.
A lot of times they talk about guys that when they don't really have a shot, they'll waste one to the goaltenders, and that wasn't wasted.
You know, not at this point in the game. I'm sure Valimont was looking for that top corner as DiPietro beat him, Bergeron there earlier this game.
Puck is back to the Aero blue line. Myles O'Connor pursued by Egeland. But O'Connor will pick up a puck and move it up ice. Kelly Hurd tipped it ahead for Marc Lamb. Looks in front, center Conroy. Here's the chance. Maurice, stuff shot. Oh, he flung another one just wide. He had a similar play earlier, and he just ripped it wide. Conroy to the line for Lamb. Steers for Conroy. Meanders back to a left point. Conroy to Hurd. Cuts it back to Conroy. Aeros getting set on the power play. Down to 20 seconds. Conroy shoots. Spurs run. Stop the rebound. Score! Power play goal for Kelly Hurd. And the Aeros tie the game at 2.
Before the game, I talked to Dave Tippett, and he said, I want to see some more grittiness in there. Well, that's the kind of grittiness you read, Nate. There's Kelly Hurd, gets right down deep in front. Conroy with a great shot, and look at this, just jabbing away at it. Kelly Hurd and Bergeron cannot cover it up in time, but a smart decision. Conroy has nowhere else to go. He takes a good hard shot, and then Kelly Hurd, with the help of the stick of J.C. Bergeron, deflects this one up underneath the bar. It's a tie hockey game.
You brought up a great point when you mentioned that Dave Tippett wanted to see some grittiness. That line of Kelly Hurd, Al Conroy, and Mike Maurice was that third checking line. That third line he wanted is his gritty checking line, and they get the tying goal.
Well, you remember when I talked about DiPietro moving to the line of Lamb and Turgeon? Well, it was Hurd that moved from that line up to this line to make it, as you say, grittier, and there they get a gritty goal on the power play.
All right, and we're in a gritty game at 2. I guess now we're at the nitty-gritty.
Yeah.
All right, we're done. Here's Corey Spring, pushed it back, and Valimont's got it. Valimont's pass intercepted, and it's Corey Spring right side, in across the line. Spring down the right wing, tucked in there by Valimont, and DiPietro trying to move it up ice. DiPietro's got it out for Freer. Here comes Freer with Arniel, 2-on-2. Freer across the line. Valimont for Arniel, right in. Bergeron stopped it, loose puck. He had to cover it up. Oh, Mark Freer was sniffing around for a loose biscuit, but there was Bergeron to cover it up. And he will hold on. Game is tied at 2 with 13.5 to go in the third.
A great job by Freer and Arniel. He drops it to Valimont, and Valimont just saucers one over to Arniel, and Arniel just decides to toss it in front of the net, and it's Valimont in there from the defensive position, comes right down to the top of the crease and jams away at it, and then it's Freer who got another whack at it. They just couldn't get a handle on the puck as Bergeron was quick to cover that one up. You know, you talk a lot about Valimont and him being a quote-unquote utility man, but I tell you what, he's the best utility man I've ever seen. And actually, a lot of people think of a person as a utility guy, as a guy that plays a lot of positions and doesn't really get to play a lot. But I tell you what, Valimont, whenever he's put into any position, comes up big and plays a great game, and he is doing a good job on the fence tonight.
We kidded. Tippett said, would he play goal next?
You never know, but Gamble right now is playing phenomenal.
Won't have to. Here's a shot by Kelly Hurd, and he let it go just wide of the net. And it's Drulia who'll get it out at center. Aeros have come back with a little momentum now. Puck goes back into the Aeros zone. Donnelly will play. Gord Donnelly trying to move it along. It's intercepted. Stuff shot in front. Drulia's there. Drulia couldn't pull the trigger. He centered one. Jason Ruff centered. Blocked in front by the Aeros. And it is picked up by Houston and cleared. Hurd down the left side, in across the line, it's knocked away, and the Knights go back. Long lead pass misses everybody, and this will be icing on Atlanta as O'Connor is back, and that'll bring a timeout on the ice. 12:44 to go in the third period. The Aeros and the Knights tied at 2. This thing's getting a little tipsy. Back after this.
Are you ready? Let's go. Get out and play. Give whatever you've got. You like that? Gatorade. Drink it up. Gatorade. You're gonna get thirsty. Gatorade. Life is a sport. Tough day. Drink it up.
When you need an auto part, you don't need to search high and low.
Just came in for some oil.
We were packed that night. Really busy.
I was in and out like that.
I noticed it when he started to back out.
I see this lady waving.
Caught him just in time.
She says my headlight's out. That's what I call service.
He could get an auto part anywhere. What he needed was high-low.
2-2 game from the Summit. And there's 12:44 to go. And And it is a nail-biter, which is nothing less than what we expected, as the face-off will come to the left side of J.C. Bergeron.
After 2 periods of guys playing pretty defensive hockey in the mid zone, as you look at the period shots, 5-1 for the Aeros. I tell you what, it's really opened up nicely in this third, and some great opportunities for the Aeros finally.
Off the face-off, Knights have it. Lead pass just missing Peter White. That'll go wide, and this will be an icing call as Valimont will play it. And, you know, in a game like this, every face-off, every possession, every point to where the puck is just mammoth.
And you know what? Looks like Dave Tippett's really moving the lines around a lot now. Maurice with Townshend and DiPietro. So Scott Gordon, who does have the last change, will have to be on his toes trying to match lines up a bit.
Face-off will be to the left of Bergeron. Puck is controlled by Atlanta and moved in behind the net. To the near side, Peterson, as Graeme Townshend lowered the boom on Darcy Warwenko, but Peter White ripped it into the Aeros zone. Puck is along, Townshend cleared it out at center ice. DiPietro gives to Maurice and across the line. Maurice cutting in, centered one, it went wide. Townshend looking for the loose puck. Now it is Maurice trying to move one in there for Graeme Townshend. So the line juggling for Dave Tippett goes on tonight, but he seems to have found a couple of combinations as Valimont ripped his shot just wide. DiPietro pursues far side. Egeland trying to come up with it, and he got it out at center ice.
Well, like I said, Tippett has the last change, so he can really do what he wants. He's got to wait to see what Scott Gordon does, and he can throw a line out there that he wants to match up with.
Atlanta, Plavsic gets it out at center. Allan Egeland moves it left side, shoots it into the Houston zone. Blocker save made by Gamble. Picked up by Marc Freer, and he'll move it up ice. Freer trying to get away from Corey Spring, cannot do it. It's poked to the near side, and here is Scott Arniel. They got it out at center, but Turgeon couldn't find the handle, so now he's got Turgeon out there with Freer and Arniel. Mike Hurlbutt playing peekaboo in behind the net with Peter White, who played last season with the Cape Breton Oilers of the American Hockey League, was the scoring champion for them last year. AHL, all of the American Hockey League. Here's Marc Greig, right side, cuts in, Peter White with drill. Here's that shot. That hit White. Now again, Sean Rivers getting sent to Marc Greig. Lost the puck, got it back, worked it down into the corner. Savage shouldering in now with Mike Hurlbutt. A big collision there. Now the puck for Freer, but it's taken away by Peter White. Lobbed it down, Savage into the corner. Hurlbutt trying to get him in there. They grapple some more. Here's a delayed penalty coming up. Stop shot, Gamble stopped that. Big collision. Marc Greig on a delayed penalty to the Aeros. Lobs it behind the net as Savage is shaken up. It's loose. And we get a whistle as Savage is really shaken up. We have an interference minor coming up to the Houston Aeros.
Well, Savage is going to feel like he got hit by a steamroller. First of all, I mean, Mike Hurlbutt just labeled him along the boards, and I think it still says 77 on the boards there, but boy did Hurlbutt, a nice clean hit, either shoulder, bang, he hits him, down goes Savage, but it's the hit that really hurts him in front of the net as they have a chance in front of the net, and it looks like this is where the penalty is. Savage just gets run over, and I think that might be where the penalty comes, as he had a good shot on chance of a shot on goal, and he just gets hammered again, and I think it was Hurlbutt again who gets the call. But it's going to be interference for Hurlbutt, and the Aeros will have to kill this one off. There's halfway through the third period now, and this is such a tight game. One more goal could be the difference.
Face-off will be in the circle to the left side of Troy Gamble. Conroy, Lamb with Donnelly and O'Connor. Lee Davidson, Stan Drulia, Jason Ruff with Adrian Plavsic and Darcy Warwenko. Sticks down, drop of the puck. Puck comes back to the line for Plavsic. Gives it to Jason Ruff, top of the right circle. Ruff trying to move it down. Here's Davidson. Davidson looks in front, worked it down as Ruff trying to move it in front. It came back to the line. Ooh, Plavsic lost it. Conroy was there, and he'll shoot it the length of the ice. Bergeron comes out, and he will slow the puck for Darcy Warwenko. 1:37 left on the power play. Here come the Knights from left to right. Plavsic tipped it over for Warwenko. He'll move it through the neutral zone to Stan Drulia. In across the line. Drulia knocked away by Donnelly. O'Connor runs it near side. Lamb poked it to the line. Warwenko held it in right point. Aeros battle battling in there. It's picked up by Davidson for Atlanta. Cuts in, stops, shot. Gamble stopped and rebound. And Gamble comes up with another save again.
Gamble making a good save there as Davidson gets around the defense and gets in front of the net, makes a good shot. Gamble makes a save and then comes up with the rebound himself and covers up as they jam away at it. The Aeros couldn't get it out of the zone, and Davidson just cuts towards the net. Doesn't get all of it, but he gets enough as they jam away at it. And then afterwards, Drulia in there to try and get the loose puck. But just a good job by Davidson going to the net. Gamble comes up with a save, the rebound off of Donnelly, and then back into the glove of Gamble. And Davidson, 16 goals, 25 assists since coming from Chicago. He's really helped out that Atlanta Knights hockey team. And boy, has he made a difference on that line of Drulia and Ruff. Drulia and Ruff successful by themselves anyways, but Davidson really adding what that line might have needed and has done a great job. I talked to him last time we were in Atlanta, and he said, you know what, I enjoyed playing in Chicago, but I felt I wasn't playing with the right people necessarily, and since I've played with Drulia and Ruff, it really opens the game up a lot. Both of those guys sure know how to move the puck around.
What was it? You played midget hockey with him?
I played midget hockey with Davidson. Yeah, that's right. And actually, Davidson, Krupke, and I all played on the same team.
Puck is shot down the ice. You stay with us, folks. We have all the important information you need to know. Forget about the Gretzky deal. We can tell you that Davidson played with Greenlay and Krupke. That'll make the front page of the Chronicle tomorrow morning.
You got it.
Here's Plavsic, pass left side. Peter White shakes off a check, trying to move in. He is hammered off the puck by Arniel. Stays with it. Runs it to the near side for Plavsic, but it's tipped away, and Valimont hammers it back to center ice. 45 seconds left in the Atlanta Knight power play. Rowanka chasing back in his own zone. He'll move it up ice. Rowanka gives to Reggie Savage. It started a little early, and that is offsides. Little overeager Reggie Savage, and he'll move it out at center. 9:07 to go in the third. The game is tied at 2. 38 seconds left in the Hurlbut Minor.
Well, Savage is no stranger to the rough stuff, and he's been roughed up a little bit himself tonight, but still remains to be a stick in the side for the Aeros.
Fans, we're going back to the 60s, back to the days of smiling faces, Laugh-In, The Who, and Flower Children. It's Aeros stock. The tie-dyes are back. We'll have 3 periods of peace and music with the Orlando Solar Bears. An evening of music, prizes, and special events dedicated to the 60s will also feature your Aeros wearing tie-dyed uniforms. That's Aeros stock 2, Saturday, March 2nd at 7 o'clock, right here at the Summit. Here's a puck taken away by Conroy, shorthanded. Shoot! Just hammered it short side. I think it went up the skate of Sean Rivers. Conroy pushed into the boards by Craig Redmond, and it's fished out of skates by the Knights. Peter White gives it to Sean Rivers. Up the neutral zone he will come, and tapped it into the Aeros zone. 8:40 to go in this one. We're tied at 2. Carl Valimont runs it to the line. Held in. Rivers knew. It came out at center. He'll have to regroup. Redmond to Rivers, trying to blast it. It's taken away by Conroy. Here come the Aeros. They're back at even strength. Puck dumped in by Conroy. Lamb goes in after it. Marc Lamb trying to get there, but Egeland takes it away, and he will sweep up ice and give it to Redmond. Craig Redmond's pass for Greig. Tipped away. It's loose at center. Maurice trying to gather it in. He's out there with DiPietro and a Kelly Hurd. Here come the Aeros. Paul DiPietro shoots the puck into the Atlanta zone. Hurd comes after it near side. Hurd into the corner, but it's Allan Egeland who's there. DiPietro checked him. But the Knights are there. Corey Spring launched it out at center. Donnelly's got to hustle back to get it. Gord Donnelly quickly turns and fired it out at center. Under 8 minutes to go in this one. Game is tied at 2. Myles O'Connor with the puck in his own zone. The pass to the right side, Kelly Hurd. He'll bring it across the line with DiPietro and with Maurice, but it's knocked away by Plavsic. It's out to center. It's Donnelly creamed Allan Egeland right at the blue line as Egeland was kind of looking for that puck, and then Donnelly imprinted him, and we take a timeout. 7:35 to go. It's a 2-2 hockey game. We'll be back after this.
For cars that can benefit from higher octane, Texaco Clean System 3 Power Plus and Power Premium are formulated to clean your engine's intake valves, fuel injectors, and combustion chambers while you're driving, to give you smooth starts and sure acceleration. Just give us 5 tanks, and we think Power Plus and Power Premium will make quite an impression on you.
Add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bum Phillips. People are always asking me if I ever go back out to the Astrodome to check on my team, and I say, heck yeah. I'm out there all the time.
Good seats for the 96 season are now available with ticket plans starting at $140. Call 799-9567 for season tickets and information.
And what are y'all doing this summer?
Say it isn't so. Atlanta Knight fans here. They probably know you, Greener. 2-2 game. I got to tell you once again, Greener, I am so impressed with you because when I went back to Atlanta, this girl comes up to me and she says, "Where's Greener?" Because I wanted you to know I named my cat Greener. I mean, they've got cats named after you in Atlanta. Are you a god there?
The other cat is named JC Bergeron.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, is it really?
JC. She named her other cat JC. Must be in memory of the year. JC and I, of course, were a tandem a few years back when we won the Turner Cup.
And you know,
and I don't know why I didn't ask to be named after a cat or named for a cat or either way, but you know. Sometimes
you are a cat.
Sometimes those things happen.
Well, I'll tell you, you know, anyone that has a cat named after, you know what? I have a car, and I think I'm going to name it Greener, even though it's white. You're just the man. You're a legend.
In my own mind.
Oh, and in mine. Here's Gord Donnelly going back to pick up a loose puck, and Donnelly will play it in behind his net, and away Donnelly will come as he rolled it up the boards, and it's out. No, held in. Here comes Jason Ruff. Gives to Drulia. Right in for Ruff. Turns. Can't get the shot away. And Lamb is there. Lamb rolled it ahead for Kelly Hurd. Here comes Hurd out at center. Trying to tip it ahead for Conroy. Conroy cutting in. Sharp angle shot is blocked. And it went to the far side. Lamb rolls for Conroy. He takes a bump. And it's controlled by Darcy Werwenka. The pass got through everybody. It should be icing. No, they're going to wave it off. O'Connor got tied up with one of the Knights. It was Marc, but no call. And here come the Houston Aeros. Up and out at center, it is Kelly Hurd. Gives to Turgeon across the line with Freer. Shoot! Great right pad save made by Turgeon. Freer with a return drive, and it went wide. It's back out at center. Hurlbutt jammed it into the Atlanta zone, and Dean Zayonce is there. Zayonce gets a pass at center. Savage to Greig. In across the Aero blue line. Cheeks takes him to the boards and then knocked him to the ice. And it looks like Kevin McGuire gonna let things go. Here goes Arniel though. And we get a whistle behind the play. Well, I noticed Kevin McGuire didn't have any pregame meal, and so he was a little hungry out there, and he decided to swallow his whistle, and he's going to let him go here in the third period, and I don't have a problem with that as long as he keeps her true.
Well, Jakes takes Greig into the boards nicely and eventually ends up on top of him, and then as he gets up, they both grapple, and Jakes a little too much time on top there, and eventually gets down, but the high stick afterwards by Greig is what he'll get called for, so they'll both get a penalty, and that'll stay even. The Atlanta Knights had a little bit of a chance earlier on, and you know, you talk about sometimes players moving the puck around a little too much, and I think it was Drulia and Ruff had a chance down deep in the Aero zone and moved it around and chopped it around, and you just want to take a shot, especially at this point in the game. Puck comes over the line, and I think it was Ruff gives it to Drulia, and Drulia maybe should have shot there, but the pass a little bit off. It allowed the Aeros to get back into the zone, and Lamb was able to clear the zone after that. And that's one of the problems that the Aeros ran into last night against Peoria, is just not taking use of all their opportunities.
We go 4-on-4 for 2 minutes, and I got to give a slight, but just a slight advantage to Houston with the more ice as the puck is shot in off sides. But with the faster, I think Houston possesses a little more speed with the likes of DiPietro, Conroy, Turgeon, Slivchenko, who hasn't seen much ice tonight, but he's another one there. But with the open ice, you know, the Aeros might be able to do something with that.
Well, that's one thing that Paul DiPietro certainly added a lot of to the Houston Aero lineup, and that is speed. He has good acceleration, and you know, he also has that toughness that you want from a guy who's going to get into his corners and use that speed to really get after a team, especially like the Atlanta Knights, who have a pretty solid defensive core.
Face off at center between DiPietro and Peter White. White wins the draw. Sean Rivers back in his own zone. He fired it out at center, and Egeland turns. Egeland rolled the puck over to Adrian Plavsic, and here comes Sean Rivers through the neutral zone, who DiPietro nearly took that away. He would have been in alone. Egeland A pass knocked away by Maurice. Can he get it out of there? No. Plavsic pinching right side. Plavsic moving in. Here's Plavsic, centered one. Egeland winds, shoots. It was blocked. Loose puck gets hurled, but clears it out at center. No icing though, as they say Rivers could have played it. Bergeron slows for Sean Rivers. He's flushed out by DiPietro. Adrian Plavsic right side. He'll bang it off the boards out at center for a breaking Allan Egeland. In across the Euro blue line. Egeland cutting in right side, and O'Connor takes him off the play. Kicked out of there by Campbell. And O'Connor, or make it Maurice, who will turn away with the puck. Mike Maurice, the pass, just missing DiPietro, and this will be an icing call on the Houston Aeros. Sean Rivers is there, and play is halted with 5:11 to go. In the third, it's a 2-2 game. 56 seconds remain in the coincidental minors to Marc Greig and to Steve Jakes.
Greig, who is a first rounder to the Hartford Whalers, 15th overall, has 13 goals, 31 assists, and 2 hat tricks this year. He has a lot of speed, a lot of stick handling ability, and a pretty good shot to that, what we talked about, very talented Atlanta Knight hockey team. And Marc Greig used to be on that line with Drulia and Ruff. He's been moved since then to the line of which now has Peter White, of course, and Reggie Savage, and their line has really been lighting up. I talked to Drulia before the game. He says, you know what, we have 3 lines that we can throw out there at any time, and they do have a very deep hockey team. The Aeros find themselves in that position now too, with DiPietro coming down. They have a lot of deepness in their lineup and can put any 3 guys, 3 lines on the ice.
It is Gordon Donnelly trying to roll the puck up and out. Donnelly to center ice for Al Conroy, and he'll shoot the puck into the Atlanta zone. Up the boards for waiting Craig Redmond. Redmond gives to Werwenka, and he shoots it out at center ice, and the Aeros are back to play it. Here come the Houston Aeros across the line. Conroy gives to Lamb, turns in the slot. He's got a chance. Lamb spun off by Redmond, and a penalty coming up to the Atlanta Knights. Oh, a penalty coming up, and the Aeros are going to get a power play, and we take a timeout. When we return, it's the Aeros power play as they try to light the lamp. It's tied at 2. Back after this.
Plymouth's clever idea department has been on a roll lately. The next challenge? Come up with clever ways to save. Now get a great lease on the redesigned Plymouth Voyager. Choose your savings on Plymouth Neon, or even get this tantalizing introductory price on the all-new Plymouth Breeze. Oh, and they even named the event. Aren't they clever?
See what's new at your local Texas Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
Being different means taking risks, and that includes stepping back and deciding what's important.
Linda Laurel, News 2 Houston.
Bringing you stories that impact you and your family every day.
Medical breakthroughs right here in Houston.
Reporting that actually helps you one-on-one. And local stories that inspire as well as entertain. It's a new generation of news, and we're glad that more and more of you are discovering the difference.
Welcome back to the Summit, a 2-2 hockey game with 4 minutes, 34 seconds remaining as Redmond goes to the box. 2 minutes for hooking, and it's on this play as Conroy drops the puck back to Lamb, and Lamb will do a little spinorama. Redmond will get up in there, get the stick on him, and just hook it in and spin him around and knock him off the puck. The Aeros have a power play, a 4-on-3. There's a little more room out there.
Puck is controlled by, well, it was controlled enough by Atlanta to get it out at center, and the Aeros will go back in their own end. They got about 10 seconds to work on the 4-on-3, and then it's a 5-on-4. Hurlbut gives the puck to Marc Lamb. The Aeros scored on their last power play. Let's see what they do here. Lamb turns it down. Lamb waiting. Looks toward the net, sends it down. DiPietro cuts in, shoots, nearly caught the far post. If he's about an inch to the left, he catches that and it goes in the net. But I think Bergeron played it about as tightly as you can there. 4:02 to go, and the Aeros on the power play for another minute 25. Here come the Aeros at center. Hurlbut had his pocket picked by Jason Ruff. They battled near side. Arniel trying to move it. Arniel's got it. He'll send it back to Marc Lamb in his own zone. 3:48 to go. Here's Conroy, tipped one in. Bergeron there, and he will cover up as DiPietro was there. That's what we call smart dump-ins, Greener. Conroy gets the dump in right on goal, and he forces Bergeron, because he sees DiPietro releasing. That forces Bergeron to cover up, and that's a face-off in the Atlanta end.
Certainly is a good play as he dumped it in, and a lot of goaltenders might have taken that puck and tried to fire it around the boards. J.C. Bergeron being a little more cautious as there's only 3 minutes 41 seconds remaining in the game, and it's a 2-2 game, and the Arrows are on the power play. It might have been a smart play for him to freeze it.
Yeah, and you know what? They've done really well in the face-off side. Atlanta has.
They certainly have.
It's been even.
And so he's going to take his chances, I suppose, and have the face-off down to his left.
DiPietro against Peter White. Arrows win the draw, though. Here's Marc Lamb, top of the slot. Give it to Hurd, shot block. Picked up by Maurice for Houston. Mike Maurice scooped it down for Kelly Hurd, who's got the game-tying goal. It was a power play goal. It's Maurice with the puck, setting up on the power play to the right side. Lamb turns one down. Oh, Kelly Hurd had a swat at it, but couldn't get it there, and Peter White ripped it the length of the ice. Puck is back into the Arrows zone. 3:15 to go in the third. 2-2 game, 41 seconds left in the Craig Redmond minor. Here comes DiPietro. He will speed down the left side at center, but it's taken away by Egeland, and he'll shoot it back into the Arrows zone. O'Connor in his own end. He will move it out to the right side for Kelly Hurd. In across the blue line. Hurd dumped it in behind the net. Goes in there. Here's Hurd, who digs it out. Hurd looking out in front. Stuffed at Maurice. Pass O'Connor. Backhander. Tipped away by Davidson. Battle for the puck in the corner. Maurice was there. It goes to Kelly Hurd. Hurd for Houston. Give to Maurice. Arrows with 5 on the power play. Maurice waiting. Steers it down. Freer. Centered. Shot by Valimont. And a right pad. Save it a beauty by J.C. Bergeron. And the penalty is over. I'll tell you what, Carl Valimont has had a ton of chances tonight, but Bergeron has been up to the task. Puck is back in the Atlanta zone. Knights are turning. Lee Davidson cleared it out at center. Here comes Ruff with Drulia, and he'll just dump it in. Campbell comes out of the net to slow, and Krupke goes back to play with 2:10 remaining in the third. Krupke's pass out at center for Sylvain Turgeon. Give it to Freer. Across the line with Arniel. Freer trying to make the move. Pulls up. Base with circle. Center one. Went off Plavsic. Puck is loose. Freer digs it out. Here's the chance in front. They battle for it, and the Knights come away with it. Jason Ruff scampered to center with under 2 minutes to go in this one. Ruff to Greig. Shoots. Campbell, a left pad save. That is Jason Ruff again. Gives it to Marc Greig. Marc Greig had it knocked away. The puck comes in. That hit Hurd, but Peter White digs it out behind the net, and we've got a whistle as the puck was hit with a high stick. 1:39 to go in the third, and the game is tied at 2. Fans, you just need to bring a group of 20 or more friends, and you will receive a discount on game tickets. You'll also get a welcome at the game, merchandise discounts, and a chance to win great prizes 2 times a year in our group sweepstakes. You can also bring a group of 42 people to the game on the Aero Bus. For more information, call 627-AERO. Join the Aero Force. It's the American way. 627-AERO, and a big group of people tonight. About 11,000 or so. And a face-off will be out at center ice. Davidson with Drulia and Ruff. Off the face-off, Gord Donnelly chased it down in his own zone. Donnelly to the right side, gives to Myles O'Connor. Tipped it out to center for Lamb. Goes into the Atlanta zone. Out of the net, Davidson is chipped away. Here's the centering pass. Conroy to Lamb. He overskated the puck. Now O'Connor the drive. Oh, that was blocked. Never made it to Bergeron. Here comes a 3-on-2 for Atlanta. Lee Davidson across the line. Davidson trying to spin away. Center one. That was knocked away. And it's out at center ice. Out Conroy. Give it to DiPietro. He'll dump the puck in. And it goes in to the Atlanta zone. Here's the puck near side. Drulia looped it in behind the net. Dean Zayonce is there, and Zayonce moves it up ice. It's back into the Arrows zone. O'Connor's got to hustle back to play it, but Gamble was there to thwart it. Here come the Arrows trying to catch the Knights in a line change. Lamb dumped the puck in. A good hard dump in comes to the near side for Kelly Hurd. He's bumped by Allan Egeland. They battle into the corner, Atlanta territory. DiPietro thrown to the boards. Knights moving up ice, and they will move to center. Marc Greig trying to joust it into the Aero zone for Atlanta, but it's back at neutral ice. Arniel had it for a moment. Krupke's got to take it as we're down to 27 seconds. And could it be the second night in a row for the Atlanta Knights that they will go to a shootout? We're 20 seconds away from finding out. Here come the Arrows at center. 4-on-3 if they hurry. Here comes Freer across the line. Freer's moving in. He centered one. Bergeron played it. And he will hold on as Kelly Hurd came in there. And a big collision. Kelly Hurd was right there, but Bergeron was there before him. Mike Hurlbut went crashing into the net, and play is halted.
Kelly Hurd sniffing around for another goal as he got his first one by jamming away. A good play by Freer. Bergeron covers that up and loses it actually as Hurd jams away at it. And Bergeron quick to pick that other one up as the rebound slides towards the goal line. And Kelly Hurd with 1 goal tonight, looking for another one.
I think Dave Tippett wants a timeout, and we will keep it here. It's a 2-2 game, 9.9 seconds remaining. And, you know, I got to give a little more accolades here for Dave Tippett if I haven't done that enough already. But, you know, you look at last night, team is down by 2, calls the troops together, doesn't utilize a timeout, he utilizes one of the TV timeouts, calls the troops together, says, hey, this thing isn't over. Lamb scores a goal to make it 5-4. And then he utilized the timeout. And I'm telling you, the Aeros had a couple of chances. They nearly tied the game. He's come close, Dave Tippett has, getting a couple of ones away late in the game. So he may see something that he's going to get his troops lined up for and maybe get a quick one. I mean, when you've got guys like Conroy and Freer and Lamb that can take faceoffs for you, you know you got a good chance of at least setting up the play.
You certainly do, and if this game does go to a shootout, which it looks like it might, you never know, 9.9 seconds as you said, but if it goes to a shootout, the Atlanta Knights have won 3 of their last 4 games, I believe, in shootouts.
I'll say one other thing about Dave Tippett. He's not just a regular head coach, he's a student of the game. I mean, he really studies not only game tapes, reads a lot of books on the game, and is a very good student at it. Now, Conroy's going to tank the draw as the Aeros will line up with Conroy, Arniel, and DiPietro. Hurlbut and Lamb defensively. Face off to the right side of Bergeron. Game is tied at 2. Big face off here. Oh, Davidson won it nicely, and Plavsic's there, and that should just about do it. Bannister in the corner, and he'll flip it out at center, and that is regulation. We will go to a shootout. So the Aeros have come back to tie the game on a power play goal from Kelly Hurd. And we go to a shootout. And Troy Gamble, you might remember in the shootout against Chicago, way above average.
He made some unbelievable saves.
That one on Curry. You remember that one?
Curry came into the top of the circle, actually to the in between the circles, right to the slot, and just wound up with the biggest slap shot that I've ever seen. Right. And Gamble seemed to be telepathic in his save. He just stuck his glove in the air and made one of the most unbelievable glove saves that I have seen in a long time.
Well, we have a minute. It gives us a chance to review the IHL rules for a shootout. Basically, each coach selects 5 players from their team to shoot using the penalty shot format. After 5 shooters, whoever has scored the most goals will go on to the win. However, if after the 5 shooters that you are still tied, then you go 1-on-1 after that, 1 by 1 by 1, until someone has scored and someone else has not.
Last night in Milwaukee, the Atlanta Knights went to that 6th shooter, and as they were tied after the first 5, and they won it in with the 6th shooter.
The Houston Aero shootout record this season is 5-5, while the Knights are 5-6. And the Aeros will have to defend first, as the Knights will get their first crack at Troy Gamble on the shootout. And I'm sure you'll see a Drulia get a chance. Peter White with a goal tonight. He will probably get a crack at it.
Well, you might even see probably Jason Ruff out there as well for the Atlanta Knights. So some very talented shooters. This should be a good shootout.
It's going to be great. I have a feeling. We're just about ready to start it. They take a 2-minute break before doing it, so that is why the delay here, but they will get her going very quickly here. And looking at some of the Aero top shooters, Marc Lamb 3 for 4, Vadim Slivchenko 5 for 10, Mike Maurice 4 for 8. Those 3 guys are available, but we'll see who's going to start it first for the Atlanta Knights. And I think it might be Lee Davidson. And Atlanta never sent us their, I don't have their penalty shot records, their shootout records, so we can't give you their percentages, but we can tell you that just say the name Lee Davidson, you know he's a pretty volatile guy, and it's going to be interesting to see how Troy Gamble will play this one.
Well, Lee Davidson last year came down on a breakaway on me, and he seemed to go forehand to, or backhand to forehand, so you might see him go for that lower left side. You never know.
All right. Here comes Lee Davidson on Troy Gamble to start the shootout. Here's Davidson in on Gamble. Winds, fakes, shoots. Great save by Gamble.
What did I tell you? The very same move, and Gamble makes an unbelievable pad save, and 0 for 1 so far for the Knights.
So the Aeros will bring up their first shooter, and that will be Paul DiPietro. DiPietro, 2 for 4. That's 50%. Here comes DiPietro on the shootout on Bergeron. He's in on goal. He shoots. Scores! That's twice tonight he's taken the water bottle off.
Boy, he went roof on that one as he made a great move and then chipped it right upstairs on Bergeron, who had backed in a little too much.
Looked like he had one of his DCI clubs going upstairs with that one. Here come the Knights. Drulia in across the line on Gamble. He waits, shoots. Gamble with the right pad save and a beauty. And the Aeros lead 1-0, and they'll bring their second shooter, Marc Lamb.
Stan Drulia with a great slap shot, but even a better save by Gamble.
Here comes Lamb. Well, false start, that's 5 yards, and it'll be 1st and 15. Now he can bring it up. Here comes Lamb across the line. In on Bergeron. Lamb, he will wait, shoots, scores! 2-0 Houston.
Marc Lamb saw DiPietro put his up there, and he said, hey, why not put it up next to the cookie jar where he put it, and does so. The Aeros lead at 2-0 in the shootout.
Big one here.
Jason Ruff's the one that tied it last night for the Knights as the 5th shooter against Milwaukee.
Gamble comes out to cut down the angle. Ruff in on Gamble. Ruff cuts in, backhanded Gamble with a left hand save and a beauty.
I tell you what, when you're on fire, and Troy Gamble has been unbelievable in these last 6 games.
Somebody leave him alone, don't wake him up, as Conroy can win it here. If he scores, it's over. Al Conroy will pick up the puck at center ice and move it across the Atlanta blue line. Conroy in on goal, shoots, but he missed the net. And it remains 2-0.
Went to the well one too many times as he tried to go high glove, just like the last 2 shooters. And it looks like Peter White is up next.
And he has to make this to keep it going. He's got a goal in the game. If he misses, it's over. Peter White with a game on the line. In on goal. He'll shoot and Gamble the save, and the Aeros come from behind again to win the hockey game in a shootout by a score of 3-2. And definitely the respirator is continuing to breathe life into the Houston Aeros as they're back to a 7-point deficit to the Atlanta Knights.
Well, the Atlanta Knights do get 1 point, and the Aeros get 2, so they gain 1, but the Aeros still needed that win, and if or nothing, just for mental reasons.
Yeah, excuse me, 8-point lead. I forgot. Yeah, you're right. The Knights do get a point out of it, and the Aeros get a big 2 points and win it by a score of 3-2. When we return, we will recap what turned out to be a pretty exciting hockey game down the stretch. We'll have that right after this.
The power.
Coming to pay-per-view, Rodeo Houston, the wildest, toughest rodeo action. Rodeo's elite by invitation only, plus full concerts from George Strait, Alabama, and Patty Loveless. It's Rodeo Houston, the 3-event spectacular that will rock the rodeo and country music world. Order now. Rodeo Houston on pay-per-view. Discount coupons at Kroger stores.
Hoops fans, it's time to vote for the Dr. Pepper Southwest Conference all-time team. Go to a regular season basketball game at any Southwest Conference school. Pick up a ballot and vote for your school's men's and women's all-time team. It could also be your chance to win a trip to the Dr. Pepper Southwest Conference Classic in March to watch the final games of the SWC and catch the presentation of the all-time team. Go to any regular season Southwest Conference basketball game and vote for your all-time players.
Houston Aeros hockey on Prime Sports is being brought to you by Southwest Airlines, with low fares on every seat of every flight everywhere it flies. Fly Southwest, the low-fare airline. By your participating Texas Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Jeep and Eagle dealers. By Columbia HCA Healthcare Corporation, a new commitment to healthcare together. By Texaco Clean System 3 gasolines. Add more life to your car. Take it to the star. By Hilo Auto Supply. For the lowest prices every day, what you need is Hilo. And by the Gatorade Company. If you're living life to the fullest, you're gonna get thirsty. That's why you need Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Life's a sport. Drink it up. Back in the Summit, Adam Gordon along with Mike Greenlay, and a 3-2 win. And what do you take on this win? You know, the